If you like the story, you can support the author on Patreon. Link is in the description.
Chapter 116, Tsunade's Offer. Thanks for coming, Grandma. Don't call me that. Tsunade shouted at me, but I just kept my pleasant smile. She sat on the table and started drinking the tea I had prepared, and I could feel that she liked it. You make good tea, brat. Thank you. Now, out with all the stuff you are holding. I didn't talk about it till now because of, you know. Oh. She is talking about Karin. Don't worry. Karin is alive. She is what? I saw that weird white creature wrapping around her before the explosion. And the man behind Akatsuki most probably kidnapped her with his hacks abilities. Tsunade gulped as she put down her teacup. Man behind Akatsuki. Things have gone south due to the butterfly effect, with Obito attacking as soon as Itaki is gone. He probably kidnapped Karin to replace Kisame for whatever chakra he needs, most probably for Gedo Mazo. Otherwise, there would be no reason for Akatsuki to wait for 3 years in the canon. First, promise that you won't tell anybody about this. I will tell Kakashi and Jiraiya myself. Don't even mention it outside this house. Not even Hokage office. I promise. Just tell me about this man behind Akatsuki. A promise doesn't really mean anything for a shinobi, but she wouldn't really mention it as I just heavily implied that the Hokage office isn't really safe from eavesdropping. Seer bullshitting really helps in keeping up whatever narrative I want to build. But to keep myself safe, this ability has to go now. It's been a month now. And it seems that I have lost my ability to see into future things, or more specifically, the dreams I had in my sleep. Tsunade frowned at that. Losing someone who can predict the future, and even possibly reveal the abilities and identities of enemies is definitely a great loss. So there is a possibility that Izumi has that ability now. She has become more dangerous. That's definitely a possibility. She said that she wouldn't harm Konoha and me, and return everything she has stolen from me once she revives her mother. And we can't really trust that. Yet. Anyway, it was a dream I had around a year ago. And you didn't tell Sarutobi-sensei about it. Because he wasn't trustworthy. Uchiha clan massacre, and Izumi getting kidnapped after it. I don't think he would be able to keep this information safe. She turned silent. The man behind Akatsuki has an ability to teleport, even partial parts of his body in another dimension. The only way to kill him right now is to kill him when he touches us, thrice and totally destroying his body. He is a freak. With this information, Tsunade should be able to take care of Obito. She can kill him once he touches her to attack her. He will use Izanagi with spare Sharingan. He will most likely retreat after that. But if he doesn't, she will need to kill him 2 more times in quick succession so that he can't just get another Sharingan in his skull. Once he uses Kamui Sharingan, she will instantly kill him the 3rd time. But it all depends on him trying to attack her. If he doesn't want to attack her, it will be almost impossible to deal with Kamui hacks. Anything more? No. Except that he has a Sharingan, which he should have used to put Karin under a strong genjutsu to work as his chakra battery for whatever he wants. It won't work on Karin due to the seal I have put on her. So, either she is pretending to be under a genjutsu, while keeping his genjutsu chakra inside her to fool the Sharingan, or she is forced without a genjutsu. The important thing is, she is alive. Karin has excellent chakra control. And I have prepared her for such a scenario beforehand while taking help from Sakura and Hinata. After all, she is an Uzumaki. Maybe the only one in the world which can become a perfect vessel for many things, the top being Kurama himself. So, she needs all preventive measures against kidnapping, genjutsu and all. Only I can use her. And most importantly, the cursed seal that Izumi placed on her during the Chunin exam invasion is still in its place. It seems that she was planning to absorb Karin after taking over me. Understandable, since she will have the most chakra in the living world after Naruto by the time she becomes 16 to 17. I wouldn't forgive that bitch easily. It will take time to completely erase her, but wouldn't it be satisfying as she will do all the work for me in hopes that I will let her meet her mother, but she will just lose herself on the way. Going to Pure Lands using massive spiritual energy? No way I am doing that retarded thing, ever. It is this world's heaven. No way I am going to take any risk. So, I can summon her back. But I need your advice on that. What would a delusional maniac do if his chakra battery got away, and now he has suspicion that this girl he kidnapped can potentially spill the beans that there is another person who has the Sharingan. I can't even Edo Tensei Rin to fight him. According to Orochimaru, the village has destroyed all DNA of every dead person in Konoha due to my prediction. Orochimaru had Hashirama, Tobirama, Minato, Kushina and many people's DNA beforehand, but I only have Hashirama, Itaki, Shisui and Fugaku's DNA currently. Growing Zetsu clones from the Zetsu body that my other self has is very difficult. The second ability to heal stuff rapidly doesn't seem to be doing a good job. I would like to at least have one Zetsu to Edo Tensei even 60 to 70% of Hashirama's power. He will be able to deal with all the Akatsuki, including Pain and Obito. Tobirama's jutsus are really overpowered. Anyway, after a long time of thinking, Tsunade answered. Are you sure that Karin is alive, and won't hurt her like Inkusa? No. She will have lower quality and quantity of chakra the more worse her mental and physical condition is. He is planning something really big, which was supposed to take 3 years of preparation according to Jiraiya. I doubt he will do anything to hurt her. Then I will trust you on that. Let me do some preparations first. We can't risk Akatsuki after the village right now. Alright. Now then. Hand over all the things that Naruto has picked up. I am keeping the swords. And the bounties. I don't think you are the one who killed them. Day. I am Naruto's wife. I look after all money-related stuff. She raised an eyebrow. Did Sarutobi-sensei never tell you guys that you are not married, or that you can't marry until you are 15? No. And Kakashi? No. Guy. He gifted us green jumpsuits and dumbbells when he heard Naruto addressing himself as a caring husband. And Yujao. Now that I think about it, she also didn't. No. So I am telling you now. You guys aren't married. Doesn't matter. Naruto is mine. I don't want to deal with your bullshit. You can keep the swords until Kiri formally asks them back. Kisame wasn't killed by Naruto solely, and Orochimaru's goons didn't have any bounties on their heads. The most I can do is divide Kisame's bounty amongst Naruto, Kakashi, and Guy. And a reward of 100,000 ryo to Naruto for the people without bounties. But... Stop it, brat. I am not like Sarutobi-sensei from whom you can get as much money as you like. So, how about? I will train you along with Sakura. And give you a forbidden technique, Spirit Transformation Jutsu. It will be perfect for you. Spirit Transformation Jutsu. Isn't it Dan's signature jutsu? My other self can do something similar with Izumi's Mangekyo ability. And even I should be able to do it after practice since I have also absorbed much of Izumi's spirit. The theory would be beneficial though. And since it is most likely Tobirama's jutsu, it wouldn't hurt to see the Forbidden Scroll myself. And getting to learn from Tsunade will be great. Since I am mostly yin, I should be able to learn medical ninjutsu. Maybe even the yin seal? I am not really sure if I can do it, since even Shizune couldn't. But it wouldn't hurt to try. Well, I accept your offer. Asterisk. Author's note. So, while I was taking a break, I was going through this fanfic. And realized that it could have been better. There are many things that should be added in earlier volumes, more Naruto x Shiori moments, Guy training session, more interactions with Sakura, Karin, Yujao, and more clarifying the situations in the ending of second and third volume. So I am thinking of rewriting it. I want this fanfic to be as iconic as Goddess of Ice, Orikimama, and all. So, I published this chapter before time so that I can focus on rewriting it while you guys can read a new chapter amidst the break. I don't think creating a new rewrite of this is a good thing, so I will just edit in this. Belated Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. Chapter 118, Boruto Time Travel Arc 1. That's all the bodies. Kisame, and 4 of Orochimaru's lackeys. And I think the third Hokage didn't keep record of this experiment. This is new, and I am sure that I can awaken it someday. As a good citizen of Konoha, I handed over all the bodies to Tsunade, and also showed her the new project. It hasn't awakened, but maybe Tsunade can also help me out in this. I looked at Tsunade, who was frowning while seeing my pet of the size of an elephant. Sarutobi-sensei entrusted this to you. Yes. When? I think it was a month or 2 after Uchiha massacre. She face-palmed, maybe trying to understand what was going in his head that he entrusted this to a little kid who was still in the academy. So, what's the progress? It has absorbed my spiritual energy and Naruto's chakra. That has made it grow bigger, from being the size of a 2-3-year-old human kid to its current size. While its body needed some external aid to be stable, it is now breathing and functioning properly. The only thing that is left is for it to wake up. And I don't really know how it will. Maybe it doesn't require anything else, but just time? And of course, I won't hand it over. It is my pet. I didn't have any use of the dead bodies since I already have their DNAs, so I didn't hesitate to hand them over. It was a good thing that Naruto secretly sealed Ataka's head in the smoke of shadow clones. Tsunade sighed. Alright brat. But keep me updated about it. Yet. Anything else I need to know from you? Anything more? I don't think so. I don't think so. Alright. Summon us back. I held Tsunade's hand, and summoned us back to my apartment. The Tavyutki needs to be recharged again just because I used summoning 2 times. Sigh. Alright. I am heading back to the Hokage office. Come for checkup tomorrow. I will start training you and Sakura. Yes, Hokage-sama. As she left my apartment, I also decided to go out to take a walk around the village. I need to survey the shops and areas to decide which place to buy. Since I can start making money through business again, let's first open my brand shop in Konoha. Then Land of Waves, then Fire Capital, and then in other places. I have a bunch of mangas like Kaguya-sama, Love is War, Dragon Ball, and Assassination Classroom already completed for Kurama. Jujutsu Kaisen is still ongoing, and I didn't get to finish its manga myself, so I won't publish it for now. In those exclusive stores, I will include the cosplay, outsource figurines from Suna, which will further relationship between Suna and me. Just in case oil is discovered there later. The Galal stones and dragon veins are in Suna, so I don't think that it is an impossible assumption. Though it's not like deserts always have oil. Or oil is only found in deserts. But it wouldn't hurt to search for it there. You can't always rely on the chakra stones and crystals from Land of Earth and Crystals. They are ridiculously expensive. I plan to build freight trains from the capital to Konoha after getting chummy with the daimyo, to get monopoly. Thankfully, the Land of Snow already has it, so I wouldn't need to work from the ground up. Good thing that I told Naruto to borrow the technology from there. I have the blueprints, the skilled workers of Land of Waves, who even managed to build helium airship if Kakashi's novel is canon. And I have money. He controlling the transportation route, and the monopoly of manufacturing important things like freight trains, airships, and all will make me much more powerful in terms of money and influence. I will also acquire the airship from Land of Sky later. That thing must be very technologically advanced. But those things will come later. For now, I will focus on finding the best place within Konoha to establish my store. Near the Hokage office will be bad, as it may pose security risks and limitations on the amount of traffic. While opening it near Hyuga clan will provide the best security, it will be too far from the market area. Wait a minute. I will require many employees as well, right? And what super rich person doesn't have maids? I will require lots of trustable people. I can't really snatch Konoha's shinobi since there is a huge shortage of them. And since it is the land which Danzo worked hard for, the civilians can't be trusted. And I can't even let other me brainwash them, because Konoha will definitely find that the civilians are getting brainwashed, since they have experience with Uchiha, have Yamanaka clan, and Hyuga clan which can peek into their bodies. Ugh. I would have just used Edo Tenseis to work without any pay if I wasn't in Konoha. Or anywhere where the Akatsuki can find information about me. I am already planning to let Zetsu hear that my prediction ability is gone, so I can't draw more attention with Edo Tensei. Mulling over it, I turned across the corner and bumped into someone. Can't you see where you are going? Before I could complete my sentence though, I was shocked by the person in front of me. Who are you? I asked, even though I knew perfectly well who he was. Boruto you. Boruto, date bossa. As I heard the name, I smiled. He isn't my kid. This means that it wouldn't distort the future in my world. Even if something happens to this trash. I looked at the man behind him, who was obviously Sasuke with a ridiculous hat, only one hand and an eye patch. Oops. Where are my manners? I should have introduced myself before asking your name. I am Shiori Uzumaki. Uzumaki. As this trash shouted, I tilted my head being confused. It seems that you aren't from this village. So you wouldn't know. I am Naruto Uzumaki's soulmate, his wife. I am quite famous about it. I don't think that there are many people in the village who don't know me. If they know Naruto as the demon kid, they know me as the unfortunate demon sacrifice. I kept my innocent and confused expression as Boruto turned to Sasuke, completely shocked. While Sasuke kept a straight face. Well, not that he will be able to keep it for much longer. Anyway, Urashiki is arriving. Hey. I guess I now know how to awaken new. What perfect timing. Chapter 119, Boruto Time Travel Arc 2. Third POV. Follow me. I have to inform Hokage-sama about you two. I think you two are important. As Shiori turned around and started walking towards the Hokage office, Sasuke and Boruto were too confused to say anything. Why is this Shiori calling herself Naruto's wife? I don't remember her like that. Sasuke thought while keeping a straight face. Hey Seisu. Call me Hikaku. Boruto made another mistake, almost revealing Sasuke's identity. But thankfully, it didn't seem like Shiori heard them. Hikaku-san. Do you know her? Boruto whispered. Was she his dad's ex or something? You know, you look very similar to the last Uchiha. Are you somehow related to Sasuke? Shiori interrupted their conversation. Maybe purposefully? I have heard about him. But I didn't know that we look similar. He said normally. Black hair and black eyes are very common, date bossa. I smiled at Boruto. Then shrugged. If you say so. Though, if you were related, I would have told my pet snake to eat you. Boruto shuddered, but Sasuke still kept a straight face. Why? Did Sasuke do something? Bombing the hospital, attacking me, killing my sister-in-law, the last full-blooded Uzumaki. He is a rogue terrorist, with an S-class bounty on his head. After all, he has Mangekyo. And from what Naruto has told me, one is Amaterasu, and the other is something dangerous we don't know much about. I smiled at both of them, and found them nervous, even though Sasuke's expression didn't change at all. By the way, what do you guys do? I am a traveling performer, and he is the disciple I have taken under my wing recently. I see. Well, it looks like we don't need to go all the way to the Hokage office. Tsunade was beating up Jiraiya just ahead of us. And guess what? We were in front of the bathhouse. Grandma Tsunade. Shiori called her out, and Tsunade was going to yell at her. I told you to stop calling me hey? Who are you two? Tsunade glared suspiciously at the two. I am Boruto. And I am Hikaku. A traveling performer. Saying that, Sasuke performed a magic trick. Something he has learned while traveling the world. Whoa! Shiori clapped at that. Despite being in the Naruto-verse, it was her first time seeing a magic trick from my previous world. Sasuke has a talent for magic. Hey! No wonder his Rinnegan turned into Rinnegan. All of a sudden, Naruto summoned himself beside Shiori. I am done with the mission, Shiori-chan. He hugged her, having missed her for 3 days. Of course, she hugged him back, and ruffled his hair. He needs some shampoo. I guess I will have to bath him later. I can't let him ruin his hair due to some mission. My kiss. As Shiori was about to ask about it, Tsunade's hands separated them. You two, and Jiraiya. Your mission is to keep an eye on these two. TCH. Old hag. How dare she disturb our kiss after 3 days? I am busy. Keep an eye on them. Tsunade glared at Jiraiya as she turned around and left. Who are these guys? Naruto asked, and Shiori shrugged. Boruto and Hikaku. Whatever. Why do we have to keep eyes on these guys anyway? And why does this Boruto look like me? Naruto asked while looking suspiciously at Boruto, who was barely keeping himself from averting his eyes. Naruto. It's your training to keep an eye on these two. I have some important things to do. Saying that, Jiraiya puffed away. Alright you two. Come to our home. I can see that you have a talent in magic. I can give you a job. Let's discuss it over a cup of tea. Thank you. Sasuke thanked her as Shiori eyed his eye patch. Should I just take it since he is going to lose it anyway? Nah. I am not that capable, even with Naruto and other me. Shiori eyed Naruto telling him that she will explain things later. And he nodded. The 4 people headed to Naruto's apartment, while Boruto kept shooting glances towards Sasuke. Asterisk. Shiori's POV. So, take this chakra pill, Sasuke. I don't want to hear stupid reasons like I ran out of chakra and failed to protect my Naruto. And use your Rinnegan, Naruto will give you chakra. I told Sasuke over tea, and he coughed. Boruto spit his tea towards Naruto's face, but he used wind style to blow it back to him. My eyes. It's hot. Ignoring Boruto, I eyed Sasuke. Who? Naruto asked suspiciously. They are Sasuke Uchiha and Boruto from the future of an alternate universe. This brat is another use kid, with Hinata. I smiled sweetly at my precious Naruto. Am I feeling angry at my Naruto? No. He is my Naruto, and Boruto's dad is another Naruto, not mine. Hinata? Who? Dad. Boruto shouted at Naruto, and I splashed water at his face. He is not your dad, Mongreal. You are Hinata and my husband's cheap copies kid in an alternate universe. Call him Naruto, is that understood? I said gently to Boruto to make him understand. I took Naruto's cup and threw tea at his face. Ack. This is for trying to spit on my Naruto. Keep your distance from him. Why yes ma'am. Now let's talk, Sasuke. Yes. Sasuke casually kept drinking his tea, ignoring Buri screaming and running towards the sink to wash his face. Oh. I think I left the geyser on yesterday. Why is hot water coming from my tea? I don't know why, but I was enjoying seeing him suffer. I was barely controlling my laughter alongside Naruto. I didn't know that another me would be so mischievous. A sweet voice ringed in my ears, and I was startled as I turned to my side. A beautiful grown-up woman with red hair, purple eyes, pale skin, and my face was smiling at me. She said. Shiori meets Shiori. Chapter 120, Boruto Time Travel Arc 3. Shiori alters POV. Some hours ago. So this Urashiki is going after Kid Naruto because our Naruto is too strong for him, I muttered as I looked over Konoha of the past, standing beside Sasuke and Boruto. Whoa! The village looks so different. Brat, don't shout. I scolded this annoying brat called Boruto Uzumaki, which has the most annoying voice of any shounen protagonist. My ears sting and my eyes burn in his presence. Aunt Shiori, aren't you excited? I sighed. I wasn't really excited. Because it wasn't the first time I am experiencing this. I had met my future self, that is me currently, when I was 13, still en route. It was because of my future self and my future memories that I was able to revive even after dying at the hands of Obito due to that damn Danzo. Well, I need to help my past self and share my memories, so that I don't disappear in my timeline. I closed my eyes, and sensed the whole village. Naruto is currently not in the village, but... Sasuke asked me as I was feeling uncertain. My past self is in the apartment besides Naruto's along with 5th Hokage. And I can't feel the signs of the amount of Hashirama cells I had at this age. Is my past self not en route? Is this not my universe, but an alternate one? Karasuki, are you sure that we just went back to time, and not an alternate universe? The turtle artifact responded. I detect that I made a mistake due to interruption in our journey by the individual Boruto Uzumaki. Your actions in this universe won't affect your universe. I see. So it seems like Boruto's Jougen did something. After all, it specializes in time-space even more than Rinnegan. So it is a universe where I didn't have to suffer en route? Ah! This feels nice just thinking about it. Sasuke, Boruto. Approach this world's me. I am sure that she will realize our situation immediately and help us. And Kurosaki, how much time before Urashiki arrives in this timeline? 7 days and 4 hours. Alright. You two go first. I will explore the village and make some preparations. Alright. You know, I really want to meet Aunt Shiori. If this is an alternate universe, maybe she will not call me Boruto or trash. I smiled. Yet. As if. However different I may be from my alternate self, I am 100% confident that she will call him Boruto at least. As both of them left, I headed towards the forest. If my actions in this universe won't affect my universe, I guess it wouldn't be too bad give my alter some gifts that may be useful. Asterisk. As I passed through the barriers, I amusedly smiled at how happy my alter is. It seems that she is Naruto's wife. She still has purple hair, and the only Hashirama cells I can sense in her are in her spine and brain. It is like a snake is her life support. BJT, I don't sense anything to tell that it is in control of Orochimaru. Some dark Uchiha chakra is mixed in hers, but it says it is her own. Well, even if something bad has happened, I will fix it for her. For now, let's surprise her. I appeared beside her, and sweetly said, I didn't know that another me would be so mischievous. She turned around and to face me, completely shocked, especially my hair. Well, I want to hear her story, and she would want to hear my story. I just hope that hers isn't as bad as mine. I giggled, and said. Shiori meets Shiori. Chapter 121, Boruto Time Travel Arc 4. Third POV. Shiori meets Shiori. I was really surprised to see a grown-up me, with much paler skin. So, how are you different from me? One glaring difference between us is that she isn't with Naruto, given that Boruto exists. I was en route. Oh. I didn't know what to say. This means that in her universe, the man who came to adopt her didn't mess with her chakra, so she had to. Alright. Let's catch up later. We have to discuss about Urashiki. Sasuke said as he put down his cup. Yeah. Let's talk about him. From what I remember, he has his chakra fishing rod, which was countered with Jiraiya seal. Then he has Byakugan, obviously. He had 2 blue Rinneagans which could bring him to the past for some seconds, but I don't know by how much. He had 6 or 9 Tomo red Rinneagan he switched with, but what was its ability? Ugh. The time travel arc was the only filler I watched in Boruto, and even that was not that good enough to remember vividly. And oh. He ate his eyeballs for transforming into a bird. He is such a trash. Typical Otsutsuki. Alternate Shiori, whom I will call Shiori Alter, started explaining his abilities, the same as I know. While she was explaining things, I noticed that she had huge concentration of H cells. Now, I am not really much of a sensor. I can detect spiritual energy, and intent with the powers I had absorbed from Izumi. But not chakra as a whole. It's just that she has such a huge concentration of H cells that I am able to feel the similarity between her and the H cells I have because of Nu. I really want to know what happened to her en route. Alright. First of all, Naruto. Can you please give Sasuke chakra? He is really nerfed in that regard. As Shiori Alter asked him, he nodded. Sasuke took off his eye patch, and we saw Rinnegan for the first time in our lives. Wow. I looked at Naruto. Yep. He will look good with a Rinnegan. And he will use it much better than Sasuke. I already have Itaki and Fugaku's Mangekyo which are closet to Sasuke genetically. I have Sasuke's chakra and blood as well. But what I am waiting for is Sasuke's own Mangekyo Sharingan. It will be best suited to Naruto and drain the least chakra. If EMS works with swapping eyes, Naruto will get Sasuke's. If it needs combining or something, then. I shook off those thoughts for now, and focused on the matter of hand. Sasuke absorbed chakra from Naruto, and recovered just enough. We have a week before Urashiki arrives. I will be at full chakra by then. So, what's the plan? We will have to be outside the village when the time comes. Naruto will spread out across the forest with shadow clones to distract Urashiki. Let's go with the assumption that he can go back to a minute in past. Madara could go for 5 seconds with his Ms, so a minute should be a safe guess for Rinnegan. Wait. You know Madara's ability? I asked Shiori Alter, genuinely surprised. It was pretty much fandom that came up with rewinding time after seeing his fight with Hashirama. But it was never official. I asked him, so he told me that he can go back to 2.5 seconds, and look into 2.5 seconds future with almost full chakra. So when he uses them in combination, it seems that he can go back 5 seconds. She shrugged. Ah. Madara does come into the category of villains who will tell about their abilities when overconfident. Still got killed by Black Zetsu. No. 1 minute seems to be too much for that fodder. I disagreed. How would he lose with such an overpowered ability? How would he lose to Raise Nan and be forced to eat his eyes? Shiori Alter looked at me with disapproval. Ouch. We have to always overestimate our enemy. With a safe 1 minute ability, he should have a minimum of 5 minutes cooldown. And in that cooldown period, I will be able to easily take him down. I raised my eyebrow at that. Is Shiori alter powerful enough to take down an Akatsuki, however fodder he may be? Not directly. But weak Hago Romo and Hamura were able to seal Kagaya with Fuinjutsu. I heard Shiori alter's voice inside my head. Telepathy? She can do Yamanaka techniques? Can you give me all your techniques, and Urashiki's body, with his eyes intact, big sis? I pleaded to her. And she smiled at me. I can give you one half of his body and one eye. I will take back the rest for my research. I don't think I should share my memories with you, but I can give you scrolls for the techniques. And I am not your big sis. I am you, just in an alternative universe who wasn't as lucky as you. Well, that will also do. Do you know Edo Tensei? Not really. You do. Hee. Yes. We looked at each other, and shook our hands. We have a deal. But Boruto disturbed our peace. Since we have a week, can I have a spar with Day? I glared at the brat. He is not your dad. I am mean, with Naruto. And Shiori alter winced at his loud, high-pitched, annoying voice. Your voice is trash, just like you. Your voice is trash, just like you. Whoa. I and Shiori alter are really the same person from different universe. We smiled at each other. Just watch how good the Naruto I raised is. I excitedly told her, and she looked at Naruto. Beat him up as much as you want. Sakura can even regrow permanent teeth. Hey! Don't break all my teeths like her. Boruto shouted at Shiori alter. Oh my Naruto! She is just like me. Chapter 122, Boruto Time Travel Arc 5, Boruto vs Naruto. Third POV. Alright. Naruto vs Boruto. Start. While Sasuke was in the outside world keeping an eye out for Urashiki, Naruto, Shiori, and Boruto were brought to another dimension by Shiori alter. Well, it would be better to say that it was Obito's dimension in her universe that she was now using. Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu. Boruto made 4 shadow clones. Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto made 400 shadow clones. Naruto grinned, Shiori alter grinned, and Boruto was devastated. That's cheating. Each Naruto clone had a raised nan on his hand. And each one was bigger than Boruto himself. And Boruto's raised nan was just a normal-sized one. All Naruto clones started doing hand signs with the help of the empty hand of the other Naruto clones. No way. That great breakthrough will demolish me. Boruto recognized the hand signs, and was scared. Wind style, 400 raised nan breakthrough. Naruto clones put the raised nan in front of their mouth, and blew huge wind, turning it into sharp wind spinning along raised nan, making a spiraling vortex headed by raised nan. And there were 400 of them. The move was so devastating that the shadow clones disappeared from the wind alone. Whoa! Naruto can do something other than raised nan and shadow clones. Shiori alter was really surprised. And Shiori puffed her chest in pride. That's my Naruto. But all the destructive power disappeared as everything got absorbed. Boruto appeared as the dust cleared, with black markings over his arm and face. So he is using Karma. Shiori muttered with disgust visible on her face. Imagine using powers of an alien against a genin. The only time Naruto needed to use Kurama's chakra was against Orochimaru, to escape Jiraiya's toad stomach, and when she was unconscious during her mind battle with Izumi. And it wasn't what he needed in the last one. It was just his emotions raging. And look at this Boruto here. Using karma to absorb ninjutsu. Trash. I can remove Momoshiki from that seal, maybe. Shiori muttered, surprising her alter. It isn't really that hard. She has a Taka who can use Totsuka blade. If that doesn't work, the Shinigami mask sheet can also be used. But both methods require a bunch of Zetsu bodies for her other self, and larger chakra and willpower than Momoshiki. Or, she can trap Momoshiki's soul inside something so that it uses his own soul's energy to keep him trapped, eventually extinguishing him to be powerless. A soul cannot die according to the laws of this world if it follows Buddhism, but it can certainly diminish in power. It will be a good practice after what I did to fix Kurama Girl's extreme side. And what I plan to do later. Shiori thought, but focused on the battle for now. Boruto was able to catch up to Naruto's speed with karma, but... Ga. Ak. Oof. Boruto was getting beaten up endlessly. 2 teeth flying here, blood from nose spilling there. Punch in gut, Kick in nuts. It wasn't that long since Boruto got the karma seal, so there was no way he would match up to Naruto's physical capability, given that he has been training with Gai-sensei since the age of 3. The karma markings disappeared, and Naruto brought out a Raise Nan. In a last-ditched effort, Boruto clased Naruto's Raise Nan with his. Given that Boruto had absorbed that jutsu before, he had enough chakra to make a Raise Nan of the same size as Naruto. The Raise Nans clashed, and Naruto made his Raise Nan even bigger. But Boruto smirked. His Raise Nan disappeared, and it reappeared to hit Naruto in the face. And Naruto's Raise Nan was absorbed by karma. Sorry dad. But I win. Boruto smirked. And Naruto's hands appeared from the ground, and buried Boruto. The Naruto that was hit by vanishing Raise Nan vanished into smoke. And a pillar transformed back into Naruto. What's that seal? Naruto appeared interested in it as he stepped on a buried Boruto's face. And didn't Shiori-chan tell you? I am not your dad. Naruto won the fight, even though Boruto used karma and he didn't use Kurama. That's the difference between Boruto and Naruto. Chapter 123, Boruto Time Travel Arc 6, Shiori Alters Story. Shiori Alters POV. After I healed Boruto, we went back to Kid Naruto's apartment. We need to talk. I told her telepathically. Naruto, we will be in my apartment. Do with Boruto as you wish. Kid Shiori, who didn't have to be en route, informed her boyfriend, and we went to her apartment. As I entered her apartment, I was filled with an unusual sense of nostalgia. Ah! Her room is decorated like my last life. Our last life? I don't really know what would be the right thing to say. The fluffy bed, with red blanket and a self-painted bedsheet. An antique-looking wall clock with a pendulum. Though one thing is different from my last life. A big portrait of Shiori with Naruto, but it was made of incredibly small Sanskrit texts, often mixed with kanji, English and other languages. This is a good way to use the seals. I never tried it because I didn't want Danzo paying more attention and suspicion to me. So I fit everything with Japanese only. Since it has been more than 30 years, I don't remember much of the languages now. Sigh. She is truly lucky. I laid down on her bed, and she laid down beside me. You were en route? She asked nervously. Yet. Want to hear about it? Yet. Now where do I start? I was at the Konoha orphanage in which Naruto was also living when I was an infant. Yet. Me too. So things were the same initially? I continued, I wasn't careful enough. I tried my best to act like a 2 to 3 year old kid, but intelligence can't be easily hidden. Plus, I kept exercising and running in the orphanage, you know, train early like the fanfics. Though, I didn't try the leaf-sticking exercise since I was too young. A retired ninja lady came to adopt me, whose daughter had died due to chakra disease from exposure to Kurama's chakra. Wait a minute. I clearly remember that a man came for me, not a woman. Oh. So things changed here. Anyway. I don't know if it was because my brain wasn't developed enough at that time, or I was too focused on the advantage I would get if a special jonin adopted me. I didn't think that she could be a root operative. I thought that instead of going through all this trouble, Danzo would just pick up any kid he wanted. But it was Naruto's orphanage. That's why Danzo went through such a roundabout way. Right. I lived a normal life with her for about 2 years. She trained me, and I think I accepted her as my mother during that time, since our died in our previous life. But now, I can't even remember her face. One day, she suddenly attacked me when I was practicing my kunao accuracy. I first thought that she was just testing me. But her eyes were hollow. I got scared and threw the kunao I had at her. For a special jonin, it shouldn't have been a problem for her to dodge it. But she didn't and it pierced her heart. She died on the spot. Kid Shiori hugged me tightly, comforting me. Ah. She doesn't feel like me, but as if what my daughter could have been since she is the same age as Boruto and all. Her hug is warm and nice. Don't worry. She decided to kill me, and she was a root member who valued Danzo's order above me. She doesn't matter to me now. I don't even remember how she looked. Really? Yet. I was shocked and crying for some hours, locked in that house with her corpse. I couldn't even think to go out and call for help. After all, I just committed my first murder. And it was someone I was attached to. That day, I slept in the same house as her corpse. But when I woke up, I realized something. She was almost definitely a root member, and her job must be to remove my emotions to be recruited into the root. So the first thing I did was to try to run to the Hokage office. But Danzo Shimura was at my gate. He patted my head, and told me that it was all right. Granddaughter. I shivered in disgust as I recalled that moment. So, did you try to go to the Hokage? Kid Shiori asked me a rather stupid question. Of course that wasn't possible if I wanted to keep my life. Would you have gone to him in that situation? I asked her instead, and she shook her head to say no. So, Danzo adopted me as his granddaughter. He started with his propaganda that roots are the foundation of tree and whatnot. He then brought me to the underground hideout where children my age were being trained. It was very harsh, and the instructors didn't give a damn even if the kids died due to extreme pressure. And he told me that I was special. At first, I was supposed to be going through normal training, but he recognized my intellect, and the off-charts spiritual energy. He told me that I have more spiritual energy than the heads of Uchiha and Yamanaka heads combined. At the age of 5. Wait a minute. How would Danzo know? How can he even measure someone's spiritual energy? Chakra is one thing, but the Yamanaka clan has some artifacts to determine at what time their children are ready to learn their jutsus. He had a cheap copy of it. Oh. Anyway. I had a very weak body for the amount of spiritual energy I had. So guess what happened? Hashirama cells. Yet. I was experimented upon, and infested with Hashirama cells. I didn't die, and even adapt to them since my yin was always above the increasing yang. I got wood release even more powerful than Yamato. About 1/100 th of Hashirama's potential in wood release. If not for the Sharingan not deactivating, he would have implanted it as well to get more potential of wood release. Ha! That were truly terrifying days. Hashirama's face on my chest. Ew. Anyway, he started training me since then, and I was particularly resistant to genjutsu, and very proficient in it, even more than a normal Uchiha my age. Though I wasn't that talented in taijutsu and ninjutsu other than wood release. After realizing that I was very good in fuinjutsu, he put me in charge of his very important project. What? Brainwashing seals. After Yamato and Kakashi had gone against him, he realized that normal brainwashing is imperfect. So he wanted to implant some seals looking like chips in the brains of the roots to constantly monitor, program and even control them as he wished. No one was competent enough to develop them, thankfully. But you were. Yet. While we never had anything to do with computer programming and all, we are the only one who can write the seals small enough to be used in those things. But I was just 5 to 6 years old at that time. I could learn new things, and Danzo was constantly calling me his heir and that I would be in charge of Root when I grow up. That's BS. I bet he would have implanted that chip in you to make his puppet. Since you were resistant to genjutsu and all. I smiled as Kid Shiori said that. Yet. You are right. But I didn't think like that back then. Maybe I was already getting affected from Danzo's brainwashing? I put all my efforts into developing those chip seals. By the time I was your age, I almost got the hang of programming which I developed, and it would take me at most 5 or 6 months to develop the first prototype. That was until a future me came, put everyone in the root, including Danzo in a very strong auditory genjutsu, and snapped me out of it. She shared her memories, and it was looping from the age of 13 to 35 7-8 times. But the oldest memories were from the age of 2 to 35. In the oldest memories, she had developed the chip seals, tested them, and when it was ready, Danzo asked her to make 2 for him for his bodyguards, while use the others and implant all hers in all the others. Apparently, Danzo had been coughing a lot, and didn't had much left to live. She was 15 at that time, and barely a Jonin-level ninja. The next day she woke up, Danzo's chip was in her brain. She became his puppet, and when he was killed by Sasuke, he lived inside her head, manipulated her to use the chip to reincarnate him in her body. That was truly messed up. So did she? No. As soon as she realized that she was being manipulated, because she wouldn't even consider giving up her body, she barely suppressed Danzo, and went straight to Tsunade to remove that chip from her brain. And well, she died in the operation, but was able to revive in one of the root member which had her chip. So fast forward in the future, she went with Sasuke and Boruto to the past, and shared her memories with her past self. While the future changed this time, with her delaying the development of those chips, Danzo brought her with him in the 5-cage summit along with that Aberame. Obito killed her, but she was able to use spirit transformation technique beforehand and possess Karin. While in Karin's body, she created the chip, implanted in Karin's brain, and got revived in her body. Since Karin wasn't much involved in the plot aside from saving Sasuke many times, and Tsunade one time, along with destroying the Buddha statue by that Zetsu, the future didn't change much. From then on, she went back in time and gave her memories to 13-year-old her, then the same thing kept happening until I was given the memories, and was going to give the memories to my past self, but for some reason, Boruto's Jougen did something and we ended up in this timeline. But why is your spiritual energy much less than what I had when I was your age? And what's with the snake in your head? Oh. You see. Blah blah blah. So, from what I understood, she saved Izumi so that she can take care of Sasuke to not go after Naruto. Sasuke can't be killed because he has to be there against the Otsutsukis, but if he used his brain and used Rinnegan even 70 to 80% as Nagato, there is a chance that Naruto might die. But Izumi got kidnapped by Orochimaru, developed Mangekyo ability Megami no Rei, which gave her ability to freely manipulate her spirit, and others to a degree. So she came across this Shiori and discovered her off-charts spiritual energy and almost got yeeted to the Pure Lands when she got too close in her spirit form. So she got the idea to take over her body and spirit, and somehow go to Pure Lands to find her mother and bring her back. Since Itaki apparently Amaterasu'd everyone's body and she couldn't find her mother's DNA to Edo Tensei her, due to Konoha's new policy of getting rid of DNAs to prevent Edo Tensei problem. They battled, and while Shiori managed to absorb a huge chunk of Izumi's power and all her memories, Izumi managed to escape while stealing a huge chunk of Shiori's spiritual energy and some of her memories. Thankfully, Shiori had also prepared for possible Yamanaka mind check, so her spiritual construct got formed and went with Izumi, taking control over Izumi as a puppet, and is in the process of permanently removing Izumi. And since the snake Izumi escaped from Shiori's body, she formed her own snake from Izumi's snake parts she absorbed to keep her alive as a support system. And I thought that my life was messed up. I muttered as she told me her side of story. Well, now that I can control Izumi from anywhere in the world, I am using her as a scapegoat for whatever I want to do without ruining my reputation. Oh. I see. By the way, about Karin. I have taken over Karin's body in my universe. But she is Shiori's sister-in-law in this one. Don't worry about that. Your Karin is different. Even you are different from me. I only care about my Naruto and my tools, not other ones. Phew. Then I guess I am not hated by her. So, do you want my memories? I would advise against it because they are 6 to 7 lives memories, with loops, experimentation and many messed up things. I would advise you to not go through so that you wouldn't lose yourself and become a different person, me. If you want though, I can make some chips for you, give you about 50 zetsus that I have on me, and write down all the techniques I know, including the Yamanaka and wood release techniques I learned en route, auditory genjutsu, all the fuinjutsu stuff, how to make those chips, and even half of Urashiki's body. Yay! You are the best, alter me! I chuckled as she hugged me excitedly. But there is a but. Yes. There is. You have to remove Momoshiki from Boruto, as you deliberately muttered to me. Well, wouldn't Edo Tensei and the languages that you have forgotten be enough? Ah. That too. I must keep Boruto safe. She gasped, stopped hugging me, and got up from the bed and ran to the corner. You can't be other me. No version of me would say that. I face-palmed. You think I said that because I care about him or something? I am the head of ANBU, and Naruto's bodyguard. If I have any opportunity to keep him, and by extension the village safe, I have to seize it. I don't want some Momokomo stabbing Sasuke's Rinnegan with a kunai. Oh. Then I guess you aren't an imposter. But protecting the village, seriously? Yet. My home is there. And my cat. I wonder if Kitty is missing me. Well, at least my Slav subordinates are taking care of her. Alright. I will try. I don't know if it will work though. And I need your help. Of course. Maybe after all of this is over, I will. Nah. I will just live on and find all other me's in alternate universes. Jougen and the turtle artifact. I have already met one, so it would be great if I could meet others as well. Chapter 124, Boruto Time Travel Arc 7, vs Urashiki. Shiori's POV. A week has passed, and Urashiki will be arriving anytime soon. Currently, Shiori altar has put around barriers around the village, and we are in the forests outside Konoha, with Naruto's shadow clones spread out to confuse Urashiki. Oh. So you are using this body, hey? Shiori altar muttered as she saw me in my other body, that Izumi. My main body isn't exactly strong, so that one is sleeping in her home. What exactly is happening, Shiori-sama? Izumi asked me as she eyed my alter self. And a grown-up Sasuke. And Jiraiya. And Naruto. And Boruto. I left out most of the things, but told Izumi about Urashiki's abilities and that we have to fight him and keep Naruto safe. While in control, I took a zetsus from Shiori altar, and performed Edo Tensei. Hey? Who brought me here this time? Hashirama was brought out. He looked around, and then waved at Sasuke. Hey! Are you an Uchiha? You look like someone I knew. Why was I brought back? First Hokage-sama, I summoned you to protect Naruto Uzumaki. He is the current Jinchuriki of 9 Tails, and someone is going to come after him. I told him pleasantly. Well, I am going to use him a lot of times. Now that I have zetsus in supply, why not keep Hashirama? Oh. So you are Mito's descendant? Last time Orochimaru summoned me. So, what's the error right now? Tsunade-sama is the 5th Hokage. There is a 5th. First he got excited. And Tsunade is the Hokage? Is the village all right? And now he got depressed and worried. Anyway, Hashirama-san, what is your strength currently? My strength, I would say, 70%. So having a zetsu body isn't enough to revive him at even 90%? Well, Kabuto did have to perfect the Edo Tensei in canon. I don't really have to do it right now, since a 70% Hashirama will be able to take out everyone alive at this point of time. I stared back at Jiraiya, who has been confused, and gaping for a while. What the hell is happening? Well, it isn't really worth to tell him about what is going to happen, since Sasuke will just erase his memories. Alright altar, do your thing. Altar put her hand on Hashirama, and said, First Hokage-sama, I need immense chakra for my seal. Hey? Okay. The red barrier around us glowed, and slowly turned invisible. Zetsus touched us and disguised themselves as us, and spread across the locations. Urashiki will be extremely confused now. Kurosaki, the time-traveling turtle, started speaking. The individual Urashiki Otsutsuki will enter this world in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A portal appeared in front of us in the sky. Shit. The distractions were useless. Well. It looks like you inferior creatures have brought guests to celebrate my welcome, We were tense. However fodder he may be, he is an Otsutsuki. And we have to fight him for at least a minute before Alter Me can do what she is going to do to capture him. Wooden hands erupted from the ground as Hashirama started attacking, but Urashiki dodged them easily, as if he has practiced it many times. His blue Rinnegan was glowing. Well, I am not very interested to fight all of you at once. His blue Rinnegan turned into red with 6 tomo, and he tried to open a portal. Tried. Hey? Why isn't it opening? So Shiori Alter's barrier worked, hey? No wonder, I am a genius. He waved his fishing rod at us, but due to the seals in place, it was ineffective. Sasuke arrived just behind him, having substituted himself with Urashiki's gourd using his Rinnegan ability. While Urashiki dodged Sasuke's sword, I swiftly sealed his gourd which had the chakra he stole. You! He flew towards me, angry that I sealed away his drugs, and Izumi moved my arms to counter his fishing rod with the Kusanagi sword Orochimaru had given her. I don't know how to fly, I don't know how to breathe. Shiori Alter suddenly started singing, and Urashiki suddenly stopped levitating. But he didn't stop breathing. Do Otsutsukis need to breathe? And is that how she uses genjutsu? Izumi and Urashiki clashed, but he also had to dodge the wooden spikes, vines, and other things Hashirama threw at him. And that's not all, Sasuke substituted with his fishing rod this time, and Urashiki barely avoided the Sasuke's Chidori. Naruto sealed the chakra fishing rod that appeared in Sasuke's place. And his blue Rinnegan also stopped glowing. Isn't he fodder? I will kill you all. He shouted in rage, and was going to dig out his eyeballs. But Hashirama's wood style bound his limbs, his neck, and I put the diamond seal on him, to see if I can rip out his consciousness or not. I will kill. He started feeling dizzy, so I put all my diamonds that I had on me. Inferior creature. Now, he was barely able to move as all the transparent diamonds turned into red one by one, giving off an ominous aura. Thud. With a loud thud, he fell on the ground. I channeled Izumi's Mangekyo ability, Megami no Rei, and stared at his fallen body. He still has his soul in his body, but it is weaker than an insect. So this seal can't rip out the soul completely. Hey. I will have to continue working on it. And given that it took 38 of the purest diamonds to seal his consciousness, I don't think you needed to summon me to take care of this guy. Hashirama muttered. Yes, you are right. He was more fodder than I expected. So I unsummoned him. Shiori altar stood beside me, and we nodded at each other. We dug out Urashiki's eyes. But in our hands, it was just Byakugan. I channeled chakra to it, but it didn't transform into Rinnegan. So, we keep him alive, or cut him in half and take one half each? Wait a minute. Shiori altar put away Urashiki's eye in a nutrition container, and put her hand on his forehead. Oh. Now that his soul has weakened so much that he is in coma, reading his memories wouldn't be that difficult. After what seemed like an hour, Shiori altar opened her eyes and put away her hand from his forehead. I have read his entire memories. Now I know about karma and all. The best thing is that there wouldn't be any Otsutsukis coming to this planet for another 2,000 years. It takes ridiculous amount of chakra to come here, and their planet is 2,000 light years away. They would only get the news that he died 2,000 years later. I see. So don't have to worry too much. No wonder Momoshiki didn't know that Kaguya ate chakra fruit, and still got sealed twice, even though he claims that he can see destiny through his Byakugan. They will only see things when the light will reach them. No matter how much hacks dojutsu they have. So, we kill him now. I readied my sword to cut him in half. No. I want to try something. We will cut him in half when I have tried what I want to do. I stopped as Shiori altar said that. I wonder what she wants to try by keeping him alive? What does that smile means? Oi! Will someone tell me what is happening? Jiraiya shouted, and Sasuke used genjutsu to put him in sleep. I am going to clean things up. Shiori, Boruto, we will be leaving in a week at the latest, if we can somehow do something about Momoshiki. But we can't remain in this universe for long. Sasuke told Boruto and Shiori altar, and sons hind away for cleanup. Alright Izumi. Your job is done here. Let's go back to our hideout. Yes Shiori-sama. At my command, Izumi reverse summoned this me to our hideout. I deleted her memories of today, and put her consciousness into sleep. In control of this body, I smiled as I looked at the chip that Shiori altar made for me. Soon, Izumi will be gone from this body forever. I feel disgusted that I have to share this body with this third-rate character. Well, Urashiki was really fodder. Chapter 125, Boruto Time Travel Arc 8. Shiori's POV. Inside Shiori altar's dimension. The day after defeating Urashiki, I returned to training with Tsunade. Naruto was plagued with keeping an eye on Boruto, Sasuke was doing whatever, and after training with Tsunade, I was with Shiori altar in her dimension, in my other body which I had to share with Izumi till now. I had put Izumi into an unconscious state, and in the spiritual realm of my mind, my spirit in this body has stabilized. The problem is that there are two spirits, one mine and one Izumi's. Her is very weak, and has been heavily corrupted by me. And the chip that Shiori altar has planted inside the brain is further increasing the rate at which I corrupt her. It is very interesting to note that despite this being a Zetsu body, there is a brain and basic human organ system. But not the reproductive ones. So, it is still imperfect for me. I want my children to be very strong, but not just create them like Orochimaru created Mitsuki. Say altar. If you wanted kids, would your current body have any problem? She shook her head in denial. Well, since I am using Karin's body, and I have absorbed my own body along with Zetsu using Chimera technique, I am not exactly able to get pregnant. Not that I want to. Wait a minute. Chimera technique. Well, I have lived 7 lives if I count each memory loop. So I knew everything my 35-year-old self knew by the age of 13. I had time to get to know other techniques. So, How powerful are you now? I have dark release, wood release, Uzumaki chains, and a variety of ninjutsus and sealing techniques. If I have to say, I would be the fourth strongest person after Naruto, Sasuke, and Orochimaru. And I have managed to not let Naruto be nerfed at least. He isn't as strong as what your Naruto will grow up to be, but he managed to stomp fused Momokomo alone. It's just that Sasuke stupidly brought Boruto into the battlefield that Momo was able to implant karma on him. Sasuke is still nerfed. Both physically and mentally. Oh. So, you want to be a proper powerful woman for your Naruto, Yeah. And I know how to. She shrugged. I figured as much. Alright. I will show you something. First, she possessed Urashiki with the mind transfer jutsu. Give me his eyes. She said through Urashiki's mouth, and I handed her the eyes. She implanted the 2 eyes again, and activated the blue Rinnegan. Then switched to red 6 Tomo Rinnegan. And finally, switched back to Byakugan. Then, she summoned some giant test tubes. And they had some 15 to 16-year-old girls in them. 10 in total, to be exact. Pale white skin like Zetsu, bright red hair like Karin, and half of their body covered with a black substance. Even Naruto and Sasuke don't know about them. They aren't real kids, but artificial ones that I had cultivated, like Orochimaru cultivated Mitsuki. But I haven't reached Orochimaru's level to breathe life into them. I made them using my Black Zetsu and Kagai's Horn's DNA. Holy shit! My alter self is badass. While I can control them independently with the chip I have implanted in them, I can only use them as puppets. And I don't really have much talent in controlling multiple bodies. That's right. Even I have trouble in controlling just 2 bodies. That's why I didn't just outright absorb Izumi in this body. But I thought that with these chips, I can remove Izumi. They can't fight on their own. Well, I have researched the puppets of Tonari. They were simple though, and were using the giant Tenseigan to operate, which is literally the reincarnation eye. They can operate for simple tasks, they would even beat most of the Chunins on their own. But it isn't like I know how to build an AI or something. What I achieved took me more than 100 years if you consider my memory loops. While Rinnegan makes it easy to control multiple puppets, Tenseigan allows to make the puppets fight on their own using the Wilder's experience. Tenseigan is superior to Rinnegan in this aspect. You see these 10 bodies? One has all killing ash bones, one has Byakugan, another one has wood release, Uzumaki chains, and others have other abilities like that. But the most important thing is that they are very close to Otsutsuki. Especially the 3 clones which have horns as well. And the surprising thing I found in Urashiki's memories is that Otsutsukis don't actually know much about karma. They can instinctively implant one, as if it is their natural ability, much like the Byakugan. So. And then, she brought out all the clones from the tube, and started touching each one's palm one by one. The first one, a clone with Kagai-like horns, got a black diamond mark. Markings spread all over her arm, and then receded. She did it to the other 10, and 7 clones in total got the karma seal. The rest started convulsing, and got blasted. Bring out the diamonds. I handed her all the 4 diamonds which had Urashiki's spiritual energy sealed in them. Shiori alter stopped possessing Urashiki, and went back to her body. Then, she stabbed Urashiki's head. As she did that, all the karma markings disappeared from the clones. So it really is like what I expected. While his yin chakra is sealed inside these multiple diamonds, he only had one spirit, that was in his body, severely starving from yin chakra. That's why, if Kurama dies, he can't be revived from the chakra that are in other places. Because those chakra in different individuals wouldn't have his spirit. If his spirit also gets consumed in Baryon mode, then he can't be revived even with Edo Tensei. But Orochimaru is different. He has been able to split his spirit as well to reincarnate in multiple people. He is truly a genius. That's why even if he dies, he can always be revived from the cursed seal, unlike the Otsutsukis who have to revive using karma before dying. I see. Wow. I know Orochimaru is genius and all, he has better cockroach ability than Otsutsukis. And because of Izumi's Mangekyo power, she and me as well. Splitting spirits. Hey. Then, in the hole she made in Urashiki's head, she planted her chip and took control over his dead body. And she planted the karma seals again. But this time, they weren't vessels for Urashiki. I couldn't sense any spirit in the bodies, unlike before when they got karma for the first time. You want one? You are just going to give me one? Yes. But I am taking Urashiki's full body. And the diamonds in which his spiritual energy is sealed. You can keep one of his eyes though. Thank you. I didn't really have any reason to refuse. I am getting an Akatsuki related body with karma seal, and I will still get one of Urashiki's eyes. I first thought that I will research on his half of body with Karin to develop poisons against the Akatsuki's. But this body itself will transform into full Akatsuki as the time passes. And what if this body doesn't have functioning reproductive system? I don't know if karma seal will fix that. And even if it will, there are more chances of it developing male reproductive system, since Urashiki is a male. Oh. I can't use this body, hey. Then I will make it my personal maid. But I need it to develop a spirit. Just like Nu. While Naga has gotten herself a spirit for some reason. I can split my spirit, but I don't really want to do that. What if I can't handle more than 2 bodies and they become different person than me? This karma one will be stronger than both of my bodies, and maybe even Naruto. What if that spirit split of mine goes rogue and claims to be the original Shiori? This spirit is different since I can control it easily, as it is my inner that I developed to counter Yamanaka abilities previously. And I don't want to make myself weaker by splitting my spirit any further. Izumi's spirit is too weak for a reason. But how can we develop a spirit in them? I have Nu as well, but it is also not waking up. Shiori alter sighed. Well, only Sage of 6 Paths could create a spirit using creation of all things. The Bijus, for example. If Naruto and Sasuke still had their sun and moon seals, it was possible that they would be able to perform creation of all things as well if they coordinated well. But since that's not the case, only Orochimaru has the answer to that. Unlike the artificial humans from IWA, Mitsuki was created without a real human, since Orochimaru isn't allowed human experimentation. Well, I will keep her in Nu's dimension for now. Sigh. Another project that is stuck now. Though I will use Urashiki's Rinnegan to transfer the spirit of a cat I feed into Nu. If it has the human and king of hell paths of a regular Rinnegan. Though I can't transfer neither a cat, nor human spirit into this clone with karma. Transferring a human spirit will be too dangerous, and transferring a cat will be just weird and not reach its full potential. I have to somehow develop a fresh spirit in it. Alright. This clone has Uzumaki chains, and with karma, it will have chakra absorption, and maybe that fishing rod ability. I can't say for sure about the Rinnegans, but Byakugan will definitely be there. I don't really have much use of her, so you can keep her. Now, the only thing that's left is to remove Momoshiki from Boruto. I think that I can do that now, since I have seen what you did with Urashiki. Though, it will require to bring out Momoshiki first, and I think it is better to do that when both Naruto and Sasuke are present. Can't we try Totsuka Blade, or something from Uzumaki Mask Shrine? We have already tried Totsuka Blade by making Kabuto summon Itaki. He said that he needed Momoshiki outside of Boruto's body like Orochimaru appeared from Sasuke. And Uzumaki Shrine masks also didn't do anything. First I have to let Momoshiki take over Boruto for a bit, then try your seal. If it is a success, then good. I will take care of it in my universe. I nodded. Well, I am sure she will figure out something. So you will be going back, hey? Yeah. But before that, she took out the turtle Kurosaki. Kurosaki, after returning us back, travel alone, and please return to me after that. Can you call this universe's you? Affirmative. I will try. After a few seconds, it started speaking again. I have contacted it, but it can't move itself on its own to come here. Then please send the message to accept her as its master, and revoke it from Akatsuki clan. It has accepted. Now the individual Shiori is Kurosaki's master. Access by Akatsuki clan has been revoked. Alright. I will replace my chip with yours in this clone, and do whatever you want as you wish. I am going to make her my personal maid. With the chip, she should be able to do simple tasks like cleaning and basic stuff. Work hard to somehow awaken a spirit for her, okay? Yeah. She patted my head as she was going to leave in some hours. I will be leaving soon. But let's meet again in the future with the help of Kurosaki. Okay. I nodded. She removed her hand from my head, but in doing so, she did something really bad. Why are you bald? Shit. My wig came off. Chapter 126, Boruto Time Travel Arc Epilogue, 1. Boruto's POV. Hey! Why is it called Boruto's POV? I am Boruto. Asterisk. Next Gen. Trash's POV. I sighed as I looked at the mirror. 2 teeth in the upper side, and 2 teeth in the lower side. They were missing, giving a direct view to my mouth. Dad was very brutal in that fight. His hits hurt more than metal lees. I can't even speak properly without giving the view of my broken teeth to the people. Good thing I don't have to hear your annoying voice. Onto Shiori, the purple-haired one, said that when I was looking at the mirror a week ago too. And the red-haired Shiori Onta nodded in agreement to that. I really don't understand why she hates me so much. She was the bodyguard of Dad, though she has retired now, since ANBU doesn't really have much job after the clean-up of the Fourth Great Shinobi War was done. And she hates me for no reason from as long as I remember. Mom said that when she held me for the first time when I was born, I peed on her. And that she actually doesn't hate me, but teases me. Though I don't think that's the case. Yet, my voice is annoying, and she has sensitive ears due to auditory genjutsu training. But that's not me fault. I was born with it. Now that I think about it, I actually hate her too. She always barged into our home, told Naruto to stop drowning in paperwork, and go fight some giant animal with only taijutsu. If that wasn't enough, she appointed Metal Lee's dad as Dad's new bodyguard, and before Dad was busy in paperwork, now he remains busy in training. And if that wasn't enough, she is good with everyone I know. And Sarada always remains attached to her, as if she is a fangirl. Yet, I have read stories about her, and Mom has also told me about her. She saved Uncle Niji in the Fourth Great Shinobi War, boosted the morale of the whole army with her singing, absorbed a Juhobi Baijuyu bomb and saved the Shinobi Alliance, and even helped in the fight against Kaguya Otsutsuki. And she is currently leading the research department made for fighting against the Otsutsukis. And she also has precognition abilities. And yet, she is training me in the Jougen, because she know the most about OP dojutsus after Sasuke and Orochimaru, or so she declared. If she doesn't even have one, I don't know how she claims that. So I wanted to see how she was in the past to get some blackmail material on her. But I didn't expect her alternate self and Dad kissing in public. Yet, I know it is an alternate universe, and this Dad isn't exactly my dad, but... Whatever. But as if kissing wasn't enough, Purple cooks for him, decides what he wears, teaches him fuinjutsu, and gives him lap pillows and all when he returns home tired after all the insane training he does. She has him wrapped around her fingers. On her first day of training with Granny Tsunade, she came to Dad and asked him to give her a massage. She kicked me out to go to her apartment, but I have Jougen for a reason. And I saw something which I shouldn't have, and I am very much traumatized by it. Note to self. Never try to use your abilities for things like these. I haven't seen even Mom asking Dad to do all that. Wait, speaking of Mom, she is on team with Dad in this universe, and has a crush on Sasuke. She was obviously depressed because what this reality's Sasuke did. The real Sasuke would never try to kill his friends after all. Other than that, she was kind of shy, not scary at all as she is in the future. Whom else did I see? I saw Anta Sakura watching clouds with Uncle Shikamaru when I was scouting the village with Jougen. No need to tell Uncle Sasuke about that. I saw Inajin's dad, who is on Shiori's team. Apparently, he and Ino haven't interacted much in this world. So all in all the pairings are wrong here. And the most wrong thing here is that palace that is being built on the supposedly Uchiha clan. It is absolutely massive, and Purple Shiori isn't even concerned that she has occupied about 90% of the Uchiha compound. Hey Master Sasuke, what happened to Uchiha clan in our universe? We will talk about this later. It is time to go. And, can you please wipe out my memories aside from the battle with Urashiki? I don't want to remember this time travel trip, at all. I wouldn't be able to see at Mom and Dad the same way otherwise. Wait. I have gift for you before you go back. Purple Shiori has a gift for me? I excitedly took the gift, and unwrapped it. Whoa. It is a drawing of me. Thank you Shiori-sama. I only drew you to prove that I am better than Aikimito. Aikimito, who? Find your Kurosaki, okay? Let's meet someday. Anta Shiori said to Purple Shiori, as we got ready to go back. Uncle Sasuke used his Sharingan, and both Dad and Purple Shiori fell asleep. Then he used it on me too. Phew. Now I wouldn't have to remember my trauma. Asterisk. As I looked at my drawing, I wondered who gave me this. But as I focused on the Jougan in the drawing, several memories flooded into my mind. Purple Shiori, Dad, kissing, this, that, arg. Why did I get these memories back? You are making funny faces, son. Hey. What is Uncle Sasuke doing in my house, and why is he calling me son? He is staring at the drawing for quite a while, dear. No. Wait a minute. Did Mom just call Uncle Sasuke? Dear. No. Why is she hugging him now? No. Please no. Why is she giving him a lap pillow? My muscles are quite sore. Why the hell is Mom being suggestive to Uncle Sasuke? I will give you a massage. No. Chapter 127, Boruto Time Travel Arc Epilogue, 2 New and Made. Shiori's POV. I woke up feeling a little fuzzy. I see. So while Sasuke's Sharingan Genjutsu didn't work on me, it still put me to sleep. So they are gone, hey. At least I got something very valuable from it. Naruto, go to bed to sleep. Naruto didn't want to wake up, so I carried him to the bed and put him to sleep. Till father-in-law is in Naruto's head, it is better to not tell Naruto about the Byakugan Blue Rinnegan Red 6 Tomo Rinnegan I got, and that Akatsuki vessel. It was late night, and nobody can peek inside my or Naruto's house. Even with Byakugan. So, I went out of Naruto's apartment with some small fish that I feed the cats with. As I stepped outside, I meowed, and lots of cats appeared in an instant. A lot of them are the ones who got injured in the Konoha Crush arc. While the dogs were cared by the Inuzukas, there wasn't much care that could be provided to the street cats. After the Uchiha clan, only Izuno clan remains in Konoha who are cat lovers. But they are very few in numbers, around 3 to 4 families. And most of them aren't powerful ninja, or ninja at all. So these cuties don't have enough people to care for them. I sighed as I petted everyone. Especially the most injured one. He is a young cat, but was malnourished, and can't see from his left eye due to bullying from other cats. While he is a gentle cutie who wouldn't hurt a fly, he went against a bully cat when it was trying to scratch me since I didn't give it any food. He is just the perfect pet to become new. Want to come with me? Cat. Meow. I petted him, and took him into my arms. Yes. Nothing is wrong by putting his soul into new. He would die in some days otherwise after all. With him, I entered my apartment, and reverse summoned myself and him into New's dimension. Naga came to me and I petted her head. It looks like she has gotten used to living here. She looked at Cat, and opened her mouth. No. He isn't your food. He is your brother. You will be living together with him from now on. She became sad, and went away to munch on the grass. Thank God that she is an omnivore. It would have been too expensive to raise her otherwise. I went inside the facility, and brought out New from his giant test tube. The nutrition solution is running out, so I will have to make some more later. Then, I took out the Akatsuki vessel that Shiori Alter has gifted me. How do I possess her though? I haven't learned the mind-body switch right now. I can reincarnate into her, but that will be a permanent thing. So, does the chip work enough to use complex abilities? Well, let's give it a try. I commanded her to start, and she opened her eyes. She did an anime girl maid pose, and said, "Welcome home, master." That smile is creepy with how soulless her eyes are looking. Oh. She doesn't really have any soul after all. Activate karma. Black markings spread over her arm, and went around her eye. But her eye didn't turn into Byakugan. Well, it will take time for karma extraction. I dug out one of her eye, to which she didn't even flinch. Then I implanted Urashiki's eye on her. Surprisingly, changing eyes is very easy in Naruto-verse. If even Rin could do it, my subpar medical ninjutsu was enough for it. Her eye socket rapidly healed, and Urashiki's eye was in perfect place. Turn this eye into Rinnegan. She activated Byakugan. No. I said, turn your Byakugan into Rinnegan. Problem. There are 2 versions. Blue, or red. Red. The nerves of Byakugan disappeared, and her eye changed into a 6 Tomo red Rinnegan. Now how to do the soul transfer. First human path, then using King of Hell. Okay, so about the chakra. I unsealed Urashiki's gourd and fishing rod. Absorb them using karma seal. I watched in fascination as everything from the gourd got absorbed along with the fishing rod. After all, the fishing rod is pure, dense chakra. Now, summon King of Hell. A medium-sized King of Hell was summoned. It looked very less scary, and was white and red, unlike Madara's Rinnegan's King of Hell. Chakra level, 50%. Oh. So it does take a lot of chakra, even after consuming all of Urashiki's chakra drugs and all the chakra he had stolen. No wonder they don't use Rinnegan abilities. And this Rinnegan looks a lot weaker than Madara's since the King of Hell only reaches my height. Use human path and take out Cat's spirit. A red thing appeared from her, and started taking out his spirit. Wah. Don't worry. I will make you better soon. You won't feel pain any longer in your new body. Even extracting a single cat's spirit took more than 10 seconds. Hey. Makes you wonder how just having a lot of Rinnegans don't automatically make you powerful. And there is a lot of difference in power of the Rinnegans, much like Sharingan and Byakugan. Now, put the spirit in Nu's body using King of Hell. The King of Hell shot a tongue, and consumed Nu's body, along with the cat's spirit. How did it consume much bigger Nu's body? I don't know. It then spit out Nu's body, and he was opened his eyes. Meow. He blinked at me with his large eyes, and then looked around his body. I took out a small fish and held it for him. I made you good. Do you want to be my pet? It excitedly approached me, and took the fish from my hand. Meow. He started cuddling with me, as if understanding my words. Oh. I did give a whole lot of spiritual energy to Nu's body. So it's understandable. Do you want a name? Calling you Nu or Cat will be weird. Meow. How about meow? Somehow, I felt that he was disappointed with me, but wasn't saying anything to keep me happy. Mew. Mew, Nu. Rhyming. Don't like it. Nu, Mew, Cat. Dark release. Hell Nu. Hellcat. Mew Nu. Nico for cat, and Nebura for Nu. Nikara. Nebura. Meow. He happily nodded. Oh. So he liked this name. Hey. Now that I think about it, I should give a name to this Otsutsuki vessel clone. I looked back at her, and she had closed her eyes. Oh. Looks like she ran out of chakra. Sigh. What a nerve. It looks like I will have to fix your chakra problem along with spirit, Seiko. Sigh best or utmost, and KO, maid or servant. A perfect name for her. The King of Hell was unsummoned. The soulless body of Cat was left behind. First I put back Seiko into her tube with nutrition solution, and then brought Nebura's previous body to him. What do you want to do with him? He just tiled his head in confusion. Oh. He probably hasn't seen mirror in his whole life. He is probably just 2 to 3 months old after all. Still, I will just bury him here. After burying his body, I touched Nebura. The contract seal is still in place. I see. Welcome to Uzumaki household, Nebura. Meow. I gently petted his head, and he started purring. He still retained his voice for some reason, and I am happy about it. I got my second pet. A large snake, and a new which can absorb chakra, use dark release to convert dark emotions into chakra, and even grow up to the size of a baijuya without bursting. I don't know the upper limit of how much chakra he can hold, but even Chikako level chakra will be great. The only problem is that it can replenish only up to very small levels. So while using chakra, he will constantly shrink. Well, it wouldn't be a problem if he will just absorb the opponent's chakra. Go to sleep, okay? I will introduce you to my husband, Naruto. Most normal animals are either afraid of Naruto, or hate him, especially the small ones. Ninja dogs like Pakun and Kaiba's twin brother are exceptions, and many cats don't have a feeling called fear. They straight up scratch him. So, maybe Naruto will finally be able to pet a cat, the cutest creatures in existence? I giggled at that thought. Tomorrow, I will introduce him to Nebura. Though not with Seiko until father-in-law remains in his head. Sigh. I hope he will just teach Flying Thunder God to Naruto quickly and disappear. I don't have much use of him for now. Hashirama Edo Tensei, even at 70% will deal with everyone alive right now, be it Nagato, Obito, or even the construction cost in Uzugakure. He is a nice guy, so I don't think he would mind working as an infrastructure builder. Heck, I can even use him to give chakra to Seiko. Damn. Having Edo Tensei, and being able to summon a 70% Hashirama is OP. I have exactly 49 Zetsu bodies left in total, so I can summon him 49 times. I have to find a way to improve Edo Tensei and create more Zetsus in the future. Still, Shiori altar gifted me a lot of things. At least Buito's horrible fillers did one good job for me. Chapter 128, Behind the Scenes. A week ago. Alright. So your training will start from today. Tsunade said as she looked over me and Sakura. As for my own power level, I am a mid-chunin at best in combat ability. While having Izumi's memories has allowed me to rapidly improve my taijutsu and kenjutsu, she herself has only jonin level combat ability. My biggest advantage will be genjutsu. Both because of absorbing some of Izumi's Mangekyo power-s, and my own yin-leaning chakra. Genjutsu with kenjutsu is what I will focus on as my main combat moves. Along with fuinjutsu. If I can learn medical ninjutsu and Tsunade's super strength, it will be great. But I don't think I can master it. After all, even after traveling with Tsunade for years, Shizune wasn't able to learn Tsunade's super strength. And Sakura was able to achieve a very toned-down version of it with just my instructions. It's sad to say this, but I haven't been able to walk on water till now. I mean, I only got to use chakra a month ago, so it is surprising that I was even able to master tree walking. All the conventional things aside, I can't exactly use Edo Tensei openly. At least not right now. And the other forbidden techniques I know is living corpse reincarnation, and spirit transformation, both not suitable for battle, for now. Spirit transformation will become useful even in battle when I master it. Without Naga, my pet snake, and Edo Tensei, I would place myself somewhere in Chunin level. Stronger than Shikamaru, Ino, and Hinata, not sure about Kaiba, Koji, Sai, and his brother, but weaker than Sakura, Karin, Shino, Torun, Lee, and Niji. It's a different matter that I can summon Zetsu Edo Hashirama, Kisame, Itaki, Sound 4, and I have gathered a lot of slaves using Izumi. Now, I will show you how to use healing palm jutsu, given that you have acceptable knowledge in theory. And so, my training in medical ninjutsu started. Asterisk. After Boruto time travel arc. Karin's POV. I didn't expect her to have more chakra than Kisame, the tailless beast. Especially at this age. With one more recruit, we will be able to start our plans as previously scheduled. I continued filling chakra in this monstrous statue, as I kept my cool pretending to be under genjutsu. I have to hold his chakra inside my brain to trick him that I am under genjutsu, so losing my calm will mean that my act may get exposed. Sasuke's two-tomo Sharingan wasn't able to detect chakra inside a person, but this man has the legendary Mangekyo Sharingan, the strongest dojutsu after Rinnegan. I can't be panicking and hot-headed in this situation. Because one of my kidnapper's partner has the Rinnegan, the strongest dojutsu in existence. This group is highly dangerous. A man who is addressed as Madara by the Rinnegan user. The Rinnegan user himself. Kakuzu, who is said to have survived after attacking the first Hokage, Hashirama. AIWA missing Nin, Deidara, a maniac who dropped a big bomb on IWA just for the fun of it, a Jashin chanting nutcase. And Sasori of the Red Sand. From what I have gathered so far, Madara has half of his body made of Hashirama cells, so it wouldn't be far-fetched to think that he has the famous wood release. And, I am somewhat doubtful that he isn't Madara. His Sharingan's chakra is too similar to Naruto's sensei. While it may be possible that Madara stole Obito's Sharingan, and using Hashirama's cells to be alive even now, it's hard to believe that he is Madara. His chakra couldn't be this young. But I will give it a 50-50th chance that he is either Madara, or Obito. Then the Rinnegan user is not a real person, but a puppet. There are some weird rods that control him. I can't trace back the puppet master, so it would be fair to assume that to defeat him, we would need a sensor better than me. So the only person I think can locate the real body are the Hygas. Though I don't know if they have larger range than me. Then the third most dangerous person, who has fought and survived the first Hokage has 5 hearts. Maybe it will require to destroy all his hearts to defeat him? That seems to be the most possible answer. Sasori is inside a puppet. And he has chakra only in a core-like thing in his chest. For defeating him, it seems to be the most possible weakness. As Shiori has said, if an opponent seems invincible, there is always a chance that he has a cliched weakness, like a core. I can't understand the weakness that Deidara and that Nutyob has, but I think it wouldn't be wrong to assume that they also have some weird ability that I can't discern with just my sensory abilities. All these information aside, the main mystery is this statue that everyone has been filling with their chakra through the rings. It feels very similar to Hashirama cells, but also slightly different. It has 10 closed eyes, and 10 tails. Whatever it may be, with the amount of chakra it is going to be filled with, if it will take around 3 years to make it functional, it can't be anything good. Is it some sort of ancient demon that they want to revive? Or an evil god? Is it Jashin? Say, you want to become Lord Jashin's servant, bitch? He would love a young follower. This Nutyob keeps pestering me. Thankfully, I am ordered to remain silent by Madara. Out of everyone, he is the most problematic one who may cause me to expose my act and punch him in the face. Hide-in. Be quiet. Yes, Pain-sama. At least this Rinnegan user keeps him in check. We have our new member. Itaka's replacement. Rinnegan user suddenly announced in the midst of chakra filling. A face I am too familiar with walked into the hideout. I barely hid my reaction as I saw him, but he was clearly surprised. I think even more than me. You are alive. Say what, Sasuke? Chapter 129, Karin escapes. Third POV. Sasuke was extremely shocked for a number of reasons. First of all, him ending up joining his brother's criminal organization wasn't something he ever thought he would end up doing. But he joined for protection. Since someone used his identity to try to kill Naruto's wife, and succeeded in killing his sister, it was clear that he will be hunted down. He can barely use his Mangekyo Sharingan for some seconds, and it was clear to him that his vision wasn't as good as it was before due to using it just 2 times, once against Orochimaru and once against Itachi. So he would rather not use it unless his life is in immediate danger. For quite a while in Madara's cave, he has been thinking about what to do from here on out. He has more or less accepted that Konoha was responsible for the massacre of his clan. But on whom he will get his revenge on? Third Hokage? He is dead. That leaves only 2 elders about whom he doesn't know much about. It isn't very likely that many more people know about it. So aside from Madara, he will get rid of the 2 elders. But that will make it impossible for him to prove his innocence, that he didn't attack Shiori and Karin. That's why he has decided to spare those elders for now, and just join this criminal organization while becoming stronger. When he is strong enough, he will kill this Madara, his organization, and then return to Konoha with Madara's head, blaming him for the attack. Before going for the elders, he will need to prove his innocence to Naruto. With this mindset, after some training from Madara, he entered the Rain Village and entered the Akatsuki hideout with the directions he has been told. A paper bomb woman covered him whole with her bombs for checking, and he was incredibly nervous. She could have blowed him there during inspection. Thankfully, after he was given clean shit, he entered the hideout. And he was shocked to see Karin alive, and wearing the same robe as the criminals. You are alive. She didn't react, and Sasuke realized that she was in genjutsu with how lifeless her eyes were. So you are the brother of Itachi, HMM. A blondie, relatively younger criminal glared at him for no reason. He ignored him and looked at the other members. While he didn't recognize any of them since he hadn't gone through the bingo book his clan had, he surprised because of the leader. He has Rinnegan. Going through the clan records, he obviously knew what the Rinnegan was. One of the 3 great dojutsu. But it is said to be much stronger than the Byakugan and Sharingan. The eyes of the Sage of 6 Paths. Killing this organization just became a lot more difficult. I am Pain. I am God. Welcome to the Akatsuki. Oh. And he is a nutcase who thinks of himself as a god. The difficulty became lower just now. I am Haiden. The loyal servant of Lord Jashin. Say, you want to serve the true god, Jashin-sama. Another nutyob. Sasori. You will make a good piece of art as a puppet. Another one. Deidara. I will defeat your arrogance in Sharingan, HMM. I will make you remember true art with your Sharingan, the true art, Art is an explosion. It seems that Ataka did something to him in the past. Kakuzu. A normal person? Paper materialized beside Pain, and the paper bomb woman appeared. Conan. Alright, killing all of them will be very hard. At least alone. Now, cut the Konoha symbol off your headband to become an official member. Alright, I should at least try it. Before that, I will advise you to pull Karin out of the genjutsu and drop her off to Konoha. If Naruto got to know about it, he will kill you all. Hey who the hell is Naruto? I would love to offer him to Lord Jashin. Ignoring that mentality disabled person, Sasuke looked at Pain. Pain smiled a little. We would love it if he tried. We wouldn't need to look for him if that happens. Look for Naruto? You don't understand. He is possessed by a demon. If he is angered, he will let it out on you. While Sasuke didn't believe the whispers of the village, about Naruto being a demon, Shiori being a demon sacrifice, himself being cursed, the owner of the grocery shop from where he used to buy tomatoes being an undead, Ichiraku ramen owner being the sage of 6 bowls, and so many rumors that go around the village. But he saw firsthand that terrifying dark orange chakra enveloping Naruto, with fox ears and 4 tails. The rumors about him being a demon had some truth to it. And he didn't want to be on the receiving side of it. But Pain looked unfazed. Our goal is to catch the demon you are talking about. Oh. I see. I have to somehow escape from here. My plan is easy. I will go along with them for now. And as soon as I get the chance, I will snap Karin out of the genjutsu, and escape with her. She will explain things to Naruto and Konoha will deal with them. This is too much for a genin like me. As you wish, Sasuke-sama. Karin suddenly said, eyes still like she is in a strong genjutsu, but eyes looking at Sasuke. She then disappeared with a poof. And now all eyes were on Sasuke. You Sharingan bastard, Deidara yelled at him and weird tongues came out of his hand. It seems like you are eager to offer yourself to Lord Jashin. Haiden licked his lips as he took out his weapon, ready to make the first offering today. One by one, all of them were ready to slaughter Sasuke. Sasuke turned around and tried to run, but... Chapter 130, Shiori saves Sasuke. As Sasuke turned around and ran to flee from the Akatsuki, he bumped into someone. He looked up, and was very surprised. Izumi. Izumi was in front of him, alive and well. He didn't feel Orochimaru in her. Well, how do you do, Sasuke-kun? It seems that you have joined an interesting organization. Izumi smiled at Sasuke, and then looked at Pain. So you claim to be a god, Can you please revive my mother then? I would be very thankful to you and join your organization. Izumi just smiled at the dangerous organization she has just trespassed into. Though I want you to spare little Sasuke-kun for saving Karin. I heard that he has a crush on her. Sasuke didn't have any crush on Karin, or anyone. But he just stayed silent. There were so many things going through his mind right now. How is Izumi alive? What is she doing here? Why is she trying to save him? But for now, she was his only hope to survive. How did you find the hideout? Pain asked her, because he wasn't using the rain detection jutsu due to filling the Gedo Mazo statue. Day. You learn a lot of things when Orochimaru lives in your body. So, is Orochimaru also here? She shrugged. Nah. Orochimaru has my body completely now that he fulfilled his part of deal. This is the body of someone I took over when I found it spying on me. She looked meaningfully at Pain. I am using this body now. So, can you revive my mother? I don't have her DNA, otherwise I would have done it myself. Since you claim to be a god, surely you can do that. He can't. But remember your mission here. You have to collect everyone's DNA here for Edo Tensei. They are more useful dead than alive. And keep Sasuke alive at any cost. Shiori spoke in her mind, and Izumi just responded with yes Shiori-sama in her mind. In Izumi's mind, Shiori sighed in relief about the timing. Karin using Sasuke to escape wouldn't have been a problem if he wasn't Sasuke. Maybe Karin thought that the intel was more valuable than Sasuke while keep up the act that she didn't know anything, and was in genjutsu from start to finish. But Shiori needed Sasuke for her plans. Maybe Obito would have saved him, but then it may come out that Sasuke didn't put her under genjutsu to order her to escape. Sigh. Sasuke is really unlucky. Over the years, while she has stopped hating him for what his canon self did to canon Naruto, she has stopped hating him, and is just cautious. Imagine getting your family massacred by your brother, and getting manipulated and tortured by him. Then the only person aside from him that was alive in the Uchiha clan wants to kill him as soon as he wakes up. Then she gets kidnapped, and taken over by Orochimaru. Till now, he hasn't done anything to harm Naruto, and his confidence has been crushed through the years. Maybe getting the Mangekyo and then Rinnegan can make him become confident, but Naruto will have a Rinnegan of his own by then. Shiori took in the scene through Izumi's eyes. The Gedo Mazo statue was big, but not anything like 10 tails. It was almost the same size as her Naga. After looking at the Gedo Mazo, she looked back at Pain for his answer. While I may be a god, I would need immense chakra for that. And searching for a huge source of chakra is a necessity for our goal in the Akatsuki. But if you want us to spare Sasuke, you must prove your worth. I am taking over. Yes, Shiori-sama. Before everyone's eyes, Izumi transformed into an adult Shiori with black hair, and dark purple eyes, but with a slimmer build than what Shiori will have once she grows up. Let me reintroduce myself. I am Hikari, the person controlling Izumi Uchiha. By stealing my half-sister's powers, I have become a full-fledged seer. I am sure that I will be useful. You know, catching all the tailed beast and stuff. Shiori said while eyeing Pain, while keeping her business smile. While she is taking care of the business and village side of things, she will control Izumi remotely to manipulate the villains for her and Naruto's benefit. While Pain and Konan's stoic face did not falter, they felt uneasy. They haven't disclosed the matter of catching all of the tailed beasts till now. Not even to the members of Akatsuki themselves. The only thing the members know about is that they were going to capture the 9 tails Jinchuriki, to use it as a weapon by storing it into Gedo Mazo. No one aside from Pain, Konan, and Obito knew about the plan to capture all the tailed beasts. Sensing their spiritual energy becoming unstable for a moment, Shiori's business smile became a genuine smile. Didn't I tell? I am a fully matured seer now. Shiori stopped controlling Izumi, and retreated back into Izumi. Hikari transformed back to Izumi. Looking visibly confused. She then gained her composure as Shiori spoke to her. They will think of you as sharing body with my half-sister, Hikari. Address me as Hikari-sama from now on. Now, do as I ordered. Izumi nodded, and looked at Sasuke. Nobody can do anything to you until I and Hikari-sama are here. You are the most important person for our, and Akatsuki plans. Shiori and Izumi's head sighed in relief. Sasuke's plot armor is insane after all. What were the chances that she will arrive here just in time? Though even if Sasuke died here, Shiori was certain that she could just stop Madara from getting revived altogether with Hashirama's Edo Tensei. But that may stop Hago Romo from giving his chakra to Naruto. Even after getting Hashirama cells, Madara got Rinnegan on his deathbed. If not for Hagoromo's help, it will be impossible to awaken Rinnegan and Six-Path Sage mode when Naruto is in his teens. So Sasuke must remain alive. Chapter 131, Karin returns to Konoha. Third POV. Karin got summoned to the other gauntlet Tevutki she had. She realized that she was in Naruto's room and neither he or Shiori Nachan was there. But instead of going to the other apartment, she chose to fall on the ground as if put in a genjutsu sleep. As she fell to the ground, she started thinking about many things while pretending to be unconscious. First of all, she didn't know the abilities of the Rinnegan, aside from the fact that the leader was a puppet controlled by the real Rinnegan owner. What if it has the abilities of Byakugan, but has so much bigger range that the user can see things in Konoha? What if the seals remain useless? It is the dojutsu of Sage of Six Paths, so it's best to remain ultra cautious and not make any mistake. If the Akatsuki got the idea that she has intel on them, everyone will be in danger. Speaking of danger, she felt guilty about using Sasuke back there. It was on the spur of the moment, a perfect chance that appeared for her, so she took it. She will try to give Sasuke a burial later. But the info was necessary, while making sure that they think she doesn't know anything. And if she didn't take this chance now, it was possible that the demon which they are trying to revive will awaken much earlier, due to her having immense chakra and it growing at an alarming rate as she has hit puberty just some months ago. Her chakra level will only be next to Naruto in the whole world in some years after all. Now, what should she do about sharing the intel? She isn't brave enough to tell it to the Hokage. So she will tell about it all to Shiori Nachan. But before that, she needs to make sure that even the Rinnegan can't eavesdrop on them. She doesn't know how to determine that, so she will have to wait. Overestimation is tiring and stress-inducing, but it will ensure the safety of herself and her family. Now, she was waiting for someone to come and wake her up, while cursing herself for using Sasuke like that. She literally kicked him into the mouth of Shinigami. While she wasn't very close to Sasuke, she did consider him as a good friend. She has gone against what Yujao-sensei has taught her. Those who break the rules are scum, but those who abandon their comrades are worse than scum. She is worse than scum. For keeping her family safe, she has abandoned Sasuke. She couldn't even cry, in fear that the Rinnegan will see her tears and Sasuke's death will be for nothing. Damn it all. Chapter 132, Getting Ready for Money. Shiori's POV. As I stopped focusing in the Akatsuki, I woke up from my sleep in my original body. I stood up from the bed, still aching from all the training Tsunade has been putting me through. Sigh. I want to give up after I reach a good enough level. After all, I already have Edo Tensei, Naruto, and controlled Izumi in case of any emergency. Plus my 2 pets. Ack. I winced as all my muscles were sore. They were screaming at me to stop doing all that. Yet. I will listen to you. I am not some sort of fanfic protagonist who can just keep training. After all, anybody can learn the 8 gates. But most of the ninjas retire at Chunin rank. Motivation is one of the main ingredients necessary for making even a Jonin. Naruto. Come back from the mission and give me a massage. I muttered as I was bearing the pain of training. I plopped down on the bed again, waiting for Karin to come. It seems like Karin has summoned herself to her other Tavyutki gauntlet. And that was in Naruto's room until our palace is rebuilt. Why hasn't Karin come to my apartment till now? I stood at the wall separating my and Naruto's old apartments. Then removed Naruto's portrait I drew when I was around 6 to 7. Underneath it, there was a hole in the wall, which was connected to my portrait's eye in Naruto's room. Peeking through the hole, I saw Karin laying on the tatami floor. It seems like she is asleep. Should I? Nah. I should let her sleep. She must have been very stressed after living in the Akatsuki for more than a month, and possibly holding on to possible genjutsu chakra inside her all the time to fool everyone. Sakura and her can do that for about 2 months last I checked. After all, for developing the Byakugan seal, one must have a very high amount of concentration and chakra control 24/7. I am sorry for calling you trash when I was young, Sakura. Developing that seal is too hard for a normal person. She isn't trash. Though her voice is trash. Her voice was quite good as a kid, so why has her voice turned like she is a boy going through puberty? I have taught her classical music so that she gets very good versatility for me to make money, but it seems like it would be better to use her for rock. Now that I think about it, I can now finally start my business ventures now that I am not worried about Karin. Let's see what I have. Since I was an arts girl, an otaku, and a person who had all the time in her life, I don't know much about complex things like mining, oil, plastics, etc. I have heard that Suna recently found an oil field by accident. It isn't really possible because the Wind Country also has the Galal stone mine, and Ryakamura dragon veins. In ancient times, that area must have a lot of resources before it turned into a desert. So I must buy at least one oil well from Suna. So many countries got freedom because of having it, and it wasn't called black gold in my previous world for nothing. Since the relationship between Suna and Konoha is somewhat shaky, they are having joint missions to show that their alliance have gotten stronger, to prevent the other villages from thinking of attacking any of the 2 villages. So if I start doing business with them, it will give the world a stronger message. After all, shinobi can work together while holding hostility. But trade can start between 2 different villages only when the business people are confident that they wouldn't lose money due to enmity between 2 parties. So now, I can start with having Idol World under me. While Taylor Swift wasn't an idol, but a singer, I don't really see much difference between them. She formed a loyal fanbase, and people would buy anything she sold. So I will also use her strategy, and in a world filled with death and depression, it will work much easier. Though I won't be doing any hand-holding event or something. I would be a special star, and my workers will have their personal life and freedom unlike the toxic culture over there. They can just use transformation jutsu. I can outsource to Suna for the figurines and Konoha for other merch. But this idol industry wouldn't lay such a mark in the world as anime would. The first thing I need to do is to target children. I watched Naruto as a kid, and over the years, I became a loyal fan. I know for sure that even if I forget the animes I watched which may be even better than Naruto, I will always remember Naruto as my best anime. I still remember Pokemon, Beyblade, Shin-Chan, Doraemon, Byakugan, all that kid animes that I will at least not forget their names. I also remember seeing a video on YouTube about how Nestle manipulated the kids with coffee toffee to make the new generation of tea countries like Japan addicted to the taste and increase its sale in coffee. So it is clear that I need something to make kids addicted to, and can use it as they grow up as well to get a loyal source of money. But if I use bad things like coffee, it will ruin my reputation. So, what should I start? Wait a minute. Didn't I just mention Beyblade earlier? In Pokemon archetype, Beyblade was the second most popular after Pokemon itself. While I plan to establish Pokemon first for the amount of merch I can sell, Beyblade is something that will fit very well with the ninja world. Not as an anime, but a weapon. It can be used as a ninja tool. What if I somehow acquire the Galal stones, ask father-in-law's help in the designing, and get Tenten to make them? It is land of fire, and the majority of ninjas here have fire style. But fire style isn't that flexible element, and is certainly the weakest one. But it can be used along with wind style to use on large armies to create fire tornado. Konoha doesn't have many wind style users, so if all the fire style users use a Beyblade which wouldn't consume chakra to create a tornado, and use fire style in combination with it, the military power will increase manifolds. After all, the majority of shinobi forces are chunin. And an average chunin can only use one nature transformation. And maybe not even that. And if the design is good enough, maybe I can even recreate the rotation of the Hyuga clan? I should send my goons to find the nomadic tribe, put that old man in genjutsu, and acquire the Galal mine. I will get some ideas on the teleportation waypoint to summon non-contracted people from one place to another. I just hope that the movie is actually canon. Well, first thing first, I should first focus on obtaining an oil well when the iron is hot. It wouldn't take long for its price to skyrocket. Thankfully, the Sand Trio are arriving in Konoha in some days for some diplomatic meetings and stuff. After so long, it is finally time to gain influence and boost my income. Chapter 133, Suna Delegation. Some days has passed since Karin returned, and after waking her up, she has been saying that she doesn't know what happened, possibly pretending to get off from Akatsuki watch list. We got the Akatsuki cloak, and the Akatsuki ring from her. So, the village is in the possession of 2 Akatsuki rings, one from Kisame and one from Karin. Inspecting it, it doesn't really feel anything special. But I know that it is used for filling chakra into the Gedo Mazo for activating the sealing jutsu for the tailed beasts. It is likely imbued with Rinnegan's power somehow, because it will make sense that other members of Akatsuki were able to extract the Baijos without Nagato being present there. Anyway, while I commanded my goons that I got from Orochimaru via Izumi to search for that tribe which knows the location of Galal stones, I am right now in the Hokage office for discussion about what I want with the Suna delegation. If you can convince them yourself, then sure. That's the answer I got from Tsunade when I asked about it, so I am joining the meeting myself. So, I ended up sitting in the Hokage office along with Tsunade and the elders, Old Hag and Four Eyes. Why is this rude girl here? Old Hag shouted, probably angry because I didn't listen to her last time. I just ignored her. Sigh. Why are they the advisors? Shut up. I didn't invite you to, so go away. Tsunade glared at them, and if the delegation wasn't arriving soon, she would have broken the table, and probably thrown them out of the window. Tsunade is a really good Hokage. She stands up against these oldies, but won't allow me to get as much money as I got from Hiruzen for all the seals and stuff. Tsunade, can you tell us why she, a genin, is in such an important meeting? I sighed and finally looked towards them. I opened my mouth to sigh. I turned my face away from them. It doesn't really matter to speak with them. Tsunade-sama, the delegation is here. Shizune entered with Gaara, Temari, and Kankuro. An unknown jonin was also accompanying them. And I was impressed that Gaara had one puppet arm. Oh. Naruto did cut off one of his arms in the Chunin exam. Hi. I waved at the Sand Trio, and they awkwardly waved back. Now that I think about it, it is the first time I am meeting them face to face and talking with them directly. Is Naruto in the village? I have to get some advice from him. Gaara asked me politely. He is currently on a mission. Ah. The meeting started, and it was mostly discussion about how the collaboration between Suna and Konoha is going. While Tsunade and the jonin from Suna did most of the talking, I got to know that Kumo has been lurking around both Land of Wind and Land of Fire. But they haven't tried anything till now because it seems that the message that Suna and Konoha has a strong alliance is received by the world. Kakashi and Baki on a mission together near the Land of Lightning has given them a warning to not try anything funny for the time being. Konoha has agreed to not accept Wind Daimyo's missions so that Suna can receive their deserved funding, and Suna had to agree to share every little information to Konoha about the Akatsuki. Then it was agreed that the next Chunin exam will be in Suna. Well, it was mostly a finalizing meeting between Konoha and Suna over already agreed terms. After they were finished, it was my time to present my proposal. Gaara, Kankuro, Temari. How about entering into a business venture with me? As I asked that, the Suna Jonin shook his head. Business in a shinobi village? That will just decrease our strength if people ventured into other things than being a shinobi. And it may even anger the feudal lords. I can understand his thinking. Hidden villages are the main military power of a country. If the military enters into business, it may become too powerful. Powerful enough to take over the country. Real-world Pakistan is a prime example of that. The situations in Konoha and Suna are different. After the war, and subsequent Kyuubi attack, the economy of Konoha was terrible. So to boost it, Hiruzen allowed a civilian council to form for allowing businesses to thrive in Konoha, which was only reserved for the people outside the village in the Land of Fire. It was because of that decision that Konoha was able to recover economically, and the clans like Akimichi entering the food business directly. So despite being a small clan, Akimichi is actually the second wealthiest clan after Hyuga. Well, because Uchiha are dead and Senju is being managed by Tsunade. And this also led Konoha to become less dependent on the feudal lords as the businessmen inside Konoha issuing missions, and also paying the taxes. I was really surprised when I got to know that Ramnoi wasn't actually born in Konoha. But Konoha is the only major village which has this system. While the other villages don't have to deal with the civilian council and are more free to make their own decisions, their hands are being tied by the feudal lords and daimyos economically. And no wonder it was the daimyos who had a great hand in ruining their own ninja villages like Kiri and Suna. It is a good thing that Fire Daimyo is a wimp. So, I should try to reason with them. It's not my place to say this, but I think you should slowly move away from being dependent on the feudal lords. Maybe adopt the same system as Konoha? Suna has just found oil on its land. And why should the daimyo have rights over them when he didn't fund Suna all those years? So, what I want to propose is that Suna should have rights over its oil wells. But that wouldn't work. If we go against the daimyo, he will just use another village to cut us off. Yet, that's how the feudal system is sustaining. Until all the villages are united, the daimyos will use one village against other to amass their wealth, and remain unaffected from any wars. Even in this case, the Wind Daimyo went scot-free even though Suna invaded Konoha because of him not funding his military. But that's where I come in. I will buy some oil wells from the Wind Daimyo, and convince him to allow Suna to engage in business. How? If you plan to use genjutsu. Pfft. No. I am not stupid enough to use genjutsu on them and cause a war. I would need Kankuro and Temari's help for preparing for meeting with him. But if I am successful in convincing the Wind Daimyo, I will keep one oil well, the one which has the most, while get Suna the rights over all the other wells inside Suna. They thought about it for a moment, and after realizing that they don't really have anything to lose. And I can also prepare a seal for Gaara from going berserk. Better than the 5-symbol seal that Naruto applied, and was removed by the 4th Kazekage. Now, that was a concerning offer I put on the table. The two elders were shooting daggers at me. A Jinchuriki seal is a very serious topic. From what father-in-law has told me, sealing a Baijuyu is a very difficult task. Naruto's seal is special, because not only it has only half of Kurama, but it has a modified version that mother-in-law had, further strengthened by the Reaper Death seal. Even Kushina went berserk a lot if she was away from the Uzumaki Tower where she lived before, until she was a teenager, after which things got better. And she was an Uzumaki. And not just a normal Uzumaki, she had enormous chakra reserve, density, and Baijuyu suppression chakra type like wood release. Meanwhile, Gaara isn't an Uzumaki with special chakra. And Chikaku also isn't Kurama. The main problem is that his seal is a storage seal with big capacity at best, which, while allows Gaara to easily use Shikaku's power, it doesn't allow him to sleep because Shikaku can't keep his mouth shut and not stop screaming about murder. But I don't think Gaara really needs Shikaku's power that much. It was evident from the war arc. While a stronger seal will mean that it will consume more chakra from Gaara and he wouldn't get free chakra from Shikaku, Gaara should have big chakra reserves on his own. Ultimately, the decision is Gaara's and Suna's, because it will need for them to trust me for not messing their Jinchuriki seal. We will need more time to think about your last offer, but let's discuss the previous suggestion. The Suna Jonin said, disregarding Temari and Kankuro's expressions that screamed that they want Gaara to be able to sleep. Well, not that it really matters to me. What I really want is oil. Not my granting land of wind freedom, but good old boosting their ego and a little bribe here and there. After all, I am richer than Suna. Probably. Chapter 134, Why Kotoamatsukami is OP. Meanwhile with Izumi/Shiori. Izumi sighed as she searched for Orochimaru's hideout. It will take several months to create a new ring for her to fill up the Gedo Mazo statue, so she was assigned to take back the ring that Orochimaru has. Zetsu has been following her in secret, and if not for her being able to detect souls, she wouldn't have known that she is being followed. It seems that Akatsuki is suspicious about her connection to Orochimaru. Shiori-sama, please take control. Alright. Izumi used spirit transformation technique as Shiori-sama took control, to approach Orochimaru without having any spy on her. As she flew towards Orochimaru in her spirit form, she heard instructions from Shiori-sama even in this form. I have implanted a pair of Mangekyo Sharingan in your snake summon. Use it on Orochimaru. Don't try to kill him. He is too valuable. Yes, Shiori-sama. She didn't know how Shiori-sama got a pair of Mangekyo Sharingan, or what she plans to do by using them on Orochimaru, but she will just obediently follow her instructions. Soon, she reached Orochimaru's hideout, and possessed one of his goons. Summoning the snake, she saw it having two Mangekyo Sharingans embedded in the place of its supposed eyes. One was Itaka's, and the other was Shisui's. The snake hid in the goon's clothes, and she approached Orochimaru's room. Kukiku. Welcome, Izumi-chan. It is a good thing that you came yourself instead of me having to search for you. Orochimaru chuckled as he continued his experiment on someone without looking back. Izumi sat down on a nearby chair, and started speaking. I have joined Akatsuki, and I need that ring you have. Oh? Akatsuki, hey. Why, Izumi-chan? Because its leader has the Rinnegan. He may be able to revive my mother. Orochimaru chuckled as he heard that. Kukikiku. You are incredibly naive. If he had that much power to revive someone without any genetic material, he wouldn't have needed the Akatsuki in the first place. If I were you, I wouldn't trust him to do that even if he achieves the power using that demonic statue. He sliced open the person's skull on whom he was experimenting on, and continued the conversation. And I don't plan to give you that ring. I needed to spy on them. Wouldn't I be a much better spy than a ring? Izumi asked the question as she realized that Orochimaru knows how to use the ring, and what it does. No wonder she was sent to hunt him down. Kukiku. And why would I trust you? Orochimaru asked as he turned to face her, but looked directly into the two eyes of the snake. His last thought was two different Mangekyos, as he entered the Tsukuyomi space. He experienced a life that was not his. He, or she, was a simple orphan who was saved by Shiori-sama from being trafficked due to her being an Uchiha bastard kid. She then served Shiori-sama as her maid, who took very good care of her. But then, she was kidnapped by Orochimaru, and her body was taken over. It was only when Shiori-sama used her spiritual power, Fuinjutsu, and the Shisui and Itaka's Mangekyo that she got from Itaki, that she was able to regain control over her body. And not only that, she absorbed Orochimaru as well, including all his memories. She is very thankful to Shiori-sama for not only saving her twice. She wouldn't exist if not for her. That's why, she will do anything for her. She opened her eyes, and realized that her skin was as pale as Orochimaru. And not only that, she looked like a female Orochimaru. But she wasn't Orochimaru. She was Rim, a name given to her by Shiori-sama. She will use Orochimaru's memories and jutsus for Shiori-sama. Please thank Shiori-sama for me. She looked at her goon that was being possessed by Izumi, one of Shiori-sama's servant. Izumi was surprised by sudden change in Orochimaru's tone, and realized that he is no longer Orochimaru, but a different person altogether. Back in Konoha, Shiori giggled. Even with the time constraint, Kotoamatsukami is OP if used properly, even more if used with the combination of Tsukuyomi. Shiori-ne-chan. Karin looked at Shiori weirdly as she randomly started giggling. She shook her head and said to Karin, "Why don't you give Gaara a tour of Konoha? He is staying for a day until Naruto returns. Who knows, it may even improve your mood." Karin nodded and looked at Gaara. He had one puppet arm, but looking at him closely, he was innocently cute, looking incredibly lost on how to communicate. He was even reading a book. Wait a minute. That book. Ugh. She doesn't want to be a tourist guide for this pervert. She looked back at Shiori Nei-chan who was daydreaming, then giggling. Most likely about Naruto Nii-chan. Fine. Come with me, Gaara-kun. As Gaara and Karin went away, Shiori entered her apartment in a good mood. Now I can leave the research part to Orochimaru, oops. I mean, Rem-chan. After all, she is as smart as Orochimaru, as powerful as Orochimaru, and just has some extra memories, making her Rem. Now, she would do her research on souls and all for my Akatsuki maid. And even recreating karma like Amato did. Kotoamatsukami is really OP, especially in my hands. Chapter 135, Galal Stones Arc 1. Naruto's POV. Aw man. The Teivyutki's communication range isn't high enough. It couldn't even cover the land of fire completely. I want to talk to Shiori-chan. Did you find the squirrel? I asked Hilera, and she looked at me like I am wrong. It's a ferret. Yet. Whatever. They are the same thing. Currently, me and Hinara are on a mission to find a pet outside of Land of Fire under Chunin Yakamai. Sigh. Such a boring mission. It is a good thing that my shadow clone is learning Flying Thunder God from Dad in our dimension, since it will be suspicious if I do that in Konoha. I don't want people to find out that the 4th Hokage is temporarily living in my head and teaching me his infamous technique, which is an S-class forbidden jutsu. We waited for the squirrel to get trapped in the trap, while I was saving my mental energy for memories I will receive from the shadow clone at the end of the day. It's here. Yakamai muttered as the squirrel arrived at the trap. Hitana pulled the string, and it was caught. Target captured. We will now head back to Konoha. Yukii said monotonously, somewhat like that Akatsuki maid that Shiori-chan is working on. No. She sounds better than her emotionally. She put the squirrel in her bag, and we started heading back to Konoha. Finally, it was such a boring mission. Naruto. You can't summon yourself back unless we reach Konoha's gate like the last time. Hayata stopped me before I could summon myself back to Shiori-chan. So, you know, what if I take the squirrel? Ferret. The squirrel back with me. No. We will get back the normal way. Why don't I just bring both of you back with me too? As I put this suggestion, I suddenly noticed an unusual situation in the environment. The cause of crows to be exact. Look at that direction with Byakugan immediately. She sighed, and looked at the direction I was pointing at with her Byakugan. There is something happening there. A very big structure is moving. It looks like a machine. Wait a minute, a small village is in its way. Big machine? Maybe it can be useful to Shiori-chan. Like the railways and chakra armor from the Land of Snow. Let's take a look there. Yes. As Yukari gave us the green signal, we ran through the rocky terrain towards that machine. As it became visible to us, I was shocked by how such a big thing was moving through this terrain easily. Okay. I am getting it. There is an opening in its rear. It has about 100 people in it, but some don't have chakra network. It is some different kind of energy flowing through them from a core. Aside from those, most people are not moving, and are in some sort of spherical glass container. They don't have chakra network? That's weird. Everyone has it, even the normal villagers who know nothing about chakra. And it seems that their weak point is that core. Wow. Byakugan is really useful. As we waited for Himura to gather more data, she covered her mouth in shock. What happened? The children in those spherical glass container turned into something inhuman. They are conducting experiments on children. Then let's capture them and free the children. And also steal all the blueprints and datas. Some people are coming this way from behind. They are the same people without chakra. Their cores are in their right side of chest. All 3 of them. I made some shadow clones to scout their strength. If I am stronger than 3 of them combined, I will capture them. If not, I will raise Nan them or blow them away. After some time, I received the memories from one of my shadow clones. 2 of them were captured easily, but one of them transformed into some kind of monster bat and tried to fly away to that machine's direction. But one of my shadow clones used wind bullets to shoot her down. Alright. They are weaker than Hirata individually. One could fly, and she transformed me into some sort of monster hybrid. One was a bat, so it is possible that she has some sort of ability-related sound. Protect your ears. We stealthily entered the big machine. My guts tell me that this mission just became a lot more exciting. Chapter 136, Galal Stones Arc 2, Final. Naruto's POV. So, here is the Galal mine hui. So, this is the book, this guy here has the royal blood mentioned in it, and this is the Galal stone. That's all, Utopia preacher. Yes. Please spare me. Alright. I spared him from his sorry life. Aku now did the trick. So what if I can't use genjutsu? I have these hands with me. Beating up that nutcase was all I needed. That guy didn't even know chakra, and wants to rule the world with some gems. Hat. No wonder it only took some beating for him to spill out everything. Alright. Time to steal those stones, blueprints, and the whole drilling mountain drifter machine. Good thing the me with Himura and Yakuno is a shadow clone. I can work in silence. But I have to do it fast before Hirata catches me with her Byakugan. After stealing everything, planting a summoning seal on the giant machine, I escaped it while others were freeing the children. And with me, there was an unconscious blonde-haired kid who has the royal blood mentioned in the book. Now, I have to find the location of the mine. While it is obvious that it is over-exaggerated that they have the power to rule the world, it's not like they will be useless. According to the book, some people of that ancient kingdom which harnessed the Galal stones are still on this continent. But other than that, I have no clue. What should I? Wait. Someone is approaching. I immediately hid in the bushes, and a purple-haired woman appeared. Wait, isn't she one of the goons Shiori-chan told me about? As I cautiously came out, she immediately kneeled after seeing me. Greetings, Naruto-sama. I am here on master's orders to find the Galal stones. I have obtained the location. Please follow me. Oh. It seems that Shiori-chan did have the stones in her mind. Okay. I followed her cautiously, while being prepared to fight back at the moment's notice. She may be leading me into a trap by disguising herself as Shiori-chan's goon. What's your name? Karin. Since it's Shiori-chan's goon, I remember her name. As we ran, we reached the base of a mountain. There was a symbol on it. I cut a bit of the royal's finger, and applied his blood on it. It glowed, and the rocks moved to open a door to a hideout. Traveling through it, it had various inscriptions on the wall, similar to the book was holding. Well, I couldn't exactly read the language. After a while, we reached the location. And it also had something like a teleportation platform. Oh. This could be useful for what Shiori-chan has been trying to build for a while. Please put this guy down, Naruto-sama. I did as she asked, and after waking him up forcefully, she put him under a genjutsu. He stood up, and put his hand on something sort of scanner, and his heart where the Galal stone was put glowed. Finally, the door to the Galal mine opened, and I was shocked by the amount of it. He. Shiori-chan will definitely like it. But now, we have to transport them to somewhere accessible to her. Shiori-chan must have given you something to transport these, right? As I looked at Karin, she had actually started the preparations. Oh. It's that seal which Shiori-chan created to find a dimension for Nu, now named as Nebura. Just let me summon Shiori-chan for a bit. As I performed the hand signs and summoned Shiori-chan, she jumped on me and started giving me kisses. Ah! My Naruto found the Galal mines even without me asking? You are so great! Ha 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 ha! Thank you ah! Shiori-chan. Wait! I want you to first see. Boom! An explosion went off. As soon as we heard that, we hurriedly started escaping. But not before I sealed a bunch of stones in a scroll. Naruto. What should we do? Shiori-chan latched onto my back as I started running. Ah! She is panicking about an explosion. How cute! No need to be scared, Shiori-chan. I will reverse summon us. Asterisk boom. 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 Asterisk. Oh. It seems like Karin got caught up in the explosions. But not before creating a crystal shield to protect us. And that gave me enough for me to complete the hand signs. Ha! As I slammed my hands on the ground, before a toad could appear to reverse summon us to Land of Toads, Shiori-chan's seal for new dimension which was dropped by Karin, and the markings of the ancient teleportation platform interacted weirdly, and the intense explosions gave them the energy. Yoneru! Bring us back! The explosions almost reached us, but we thankfully escaped into the Land of Toads. Phew! Shiori-chan! We are fine. In an alternate universe. In this universe, Naruto and Shiori weren't fine. The seal reacted before the toad could reverse summon them. And while they weren't harmed by the explosion, they were teleported to somewhere else. Tall buildings unlike Konoha, never-ending traffic of strange vehicles, and a very, very different world from what Naruto has ever seen. And it didn't help that they saw a man in some sort of metal armor flying around, almost crashing into a building. Shiori-chan, where are we? Naruto. I think it is Marvel. Chapter 137, Epilogue to Volume 3.5, I. Shiori's POV. Phew. I sighed in relief as we safely escaped the intense explosions. Though I lost one of my goons. I have saved 14 Galal stones, Shiori-chan. Thank you, my Naruto, you are the best. I hugged my Naruto and petted him affectionately. Ah, Naruto-chan, the Toad Sage is calling you. Fukasaku called Naruto. Oh. We are in Mount Myokyubu, right? Can I come too? He looked at me for a moment, and shrugged. Come along. As we followed him, I was taking in all the scenery. But it was being ruined by the incredibly bad smell of toads. It felt like a swamp. Do you want to eat? No. My wife cooks. I am on a fast. He then turned to Naruto, and he also used my excuse. I am on a fast too. Well, that's unfortunate. He turned around and started walking again. By the way, Fukasaku-sama, when can Naruto start learning Sage Mode? He shook his head. Not right now. It will take at least 3 years for him to be able to handle it. But practicing to sit still will help him a lot. And if he gets a curse mark like me? No. Your curse mark doesn't have the capability to draw in Senjutsu chakra. And something like Orochimaru's curse seal draws in corrupted Senjutsu. It is harmful for the body in long run, and can even cause mental damage. I see. Sigh. I kind of wanted to give Naruto a curse mark in the future so that he wouldn't need to use shadow clones for maintaining Sage Mode longer. Well, maybe Orochimaru, Rem-chan will be able to draw out something with the Cursed Seal and the Karma Seal? You know, Naruto awakening Rinnegan naturally through karma may also work, even though the blue and red ones are weaker than the purple ones. The problem is that he is already suppressing Kurama, so I don't know if his body will be able to survive the strain. Well, Rem-chan will take care of all that, along with the medicine that Hago Romo needed after becoming the Juhobi Jinchuriki. I will just focus on money, and my Naruto. I have already looked for a good area for my branded store. The university in Land of Waves is almost ready for my future workers. I have started to lay down my groundwork to make connections with the wife of Fire Daimyo, and it won't take much time for me to truly get a breakthrough in my wealth, but it will require the help from the nobles. Toad Sage, I have brought Naruto-chan and his girl. Oh. We have already reached the Toad Sage. The old toad did his antics of not remembering things about the world and himself, and then looked at me. This girl will bring destruction upon the world. Oh. What a nice way to wrap things up before a time skip.
Thanks for listening.